And hello once again to another
Video
episode of Sharing
games.
with Shellshock. I'm your host, ShellshockPrime, and this is actually take two of this podcast because there was an unfortunate technical difficulty I had no idea about. And and at
Round
first
two.
and at first I thought that this was some sort of joke that I'm the only one who was not in on. And I don't know, I don't understand, but whatever. We're retconning it, so we're doing it again. But yeah, I'm your host, Shellshock Prime, and this is the season premiere of Sharing with Shellshock. So we're going to talk a lot about fighting games tonight. So joining me are two returning guests and two brand new guests. So Steve, welcome back.
Hello for the first time.
Yes. Menitta, good to see you again.
Hello. Glad to be back.
And Barry, welcome. Good to see you.
Hello. Hello, people who I'm just meeting for the first time. Hi.
And good to see you, Christy. Welcome.
I've been here. I've been here the whole time.
All right, so we're gonna talk about fighting games a little bit, but first, Steve, what type of content do you do?
I do a weekly podcast on zenspath.com. We talk about basically everything video games. We just did one with some of the weird layoffs that's happened and some of the happenings with Nintendo, especially that really weird copyright trailer they made called that Pokemon ripoff. But we're going to be doing an episode eventually where we're going to show off our weirdest controllers. I just got a Game of Life controller for my Nintendo Switch.
All right, sounds good. Minetta.
Hello. I don't do a ton, but I'm on social media. I'm on Blue Sky. I occasionally stream on Twitch under the name Menitta, but yeah, and I also have a blog. You can find it on Blue Sky. But yeah, I just like to yap about stuff.
All right, Barry.
Hello, I'm a variety streamer, but I also host an event on Sundays called Scrub Down Sunday, where me and my friends, we shoot the breeze while playing fighting games with the community. Sometimes the stream boss appears, but everyone of all levels are welcome. Come wash or get washed.
Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Christie, one half of the Wives Anarchy. We do Soulsborns, TTRPGs. We have a Bitter Book Club, and I play that 2XKO. Aside from that, I am a co-org of Stream NYC, one of the largest Twitch meetup groups in the country, with my buddy Jesse Quill and my lady partner Amanda. And I sit on both the Twitch Pride Guilds and the Twitch Women's Guild. Managed to fuck that up both times. That's impressive. I'm proud of myself. Shout out to Christie.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
But it's good having you all. So for fighting games, we've when it comes to fighting games, they started since like the 1970s, but it wasn't until 1983 when Karate Champ came out that introduced the one-on-one fighter. Then we got Yi Kung Fu in 1985-ish or so, and then we got Street Fighter 1, which that game is terrible. It wasn't good, but we had to use
Now, what are you talking about?
but we had to be able to
Giant
just
button.
punch with those giant buttons, and then they later made like the 3 punch 3 kicks. Then we got Street Fighter 2. The rest is history. We've got multiple fighting games that came out afterwards, like Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Tekken, Guilty Gear, and Dead or Alive, and so much more. King of Fighters, so many. And here we are right now today. Fighting games are still going on very strong. Steve, how did you get into them?
Growing up on the East Coast, I started with arcades because I had a Nathan's nearby. So that's where I got to kind of get exposed to like Street Fighter 2 and the like, and the first Mortal Kombat. Then when Street Fighter 2 came to Super Nintendo, I was just trying to play every fighting game as it was marketed towards me. So unfortunately, I played stuff like Doomsday Warrior. I played stuff like Tough Enough for Super Nintendo. I played Revengers of Vengeance, Shaq Fu. I thankfully avoided Brutal, Paws of Fury. But then I was just like, okay, this could go somewhere. But then when I saw Killer Instinct in arcades, I was starting to get like, okay, I know who to follow to see which companies are going to make these fighting games because they know what they're doing.
Yep. All right, Minetta, what about you?
So I kind of first got into fighting games. I remember some friends came over to my place, and one of them brought over. Well, I played Smash Brothers on the GameCube. That was the first like real fighting game that I actually played. But as far as traditional fighting games go, someone brought over Injustice, and
Ooh.
I thought that was kind of fun. Fast forward to when I started listening to the then Super Best Friends cast, the Super Best Friends play. I really liked their stuff. And they started really talking about Street Fighter, and I was like, Street Fighter, this sounds fun. And I went over to GameStop and I got the greatest video game ever made, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Um, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was fun. But like at that point, I feel like I wasn't really into fighting games. You know, I played Persona 4 Arena. I played Mortal Kombat. I bought some handful of stuff every now and then. But the one that really, really did it for me, and like this is gonna be weird because it's not a very great game, at least at the time, at launch in 2016. Street Fighter 5. I really liked Street Fighter 5. I think like the design philosophy of making it like, you know, relatively approachable really helped for someone like me to really get into them. And then, you know, the rest is history. Like I adore Street Fighter 6. That's probably one of my favorite fighting games. I played a ton of Street Fighter 3 as well. I went to EVO in 2023 and 2024. I just started getting
Menitta?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, good. You're good.
Sorry.
Continue.
Okay. Yeah. I probably have to refresh the camera, but yeah. But yeah, I just like all sorts of fighting games now. One of my favorite genres of video games.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Barry?
If I have to go all the way back, probably Smash 64. But actual fighting game, Persona 4 Arena. I was on a big Persona kick one summer, and I played that, and then Ultimax for the PS3, and I kind of just stopped until the re-release on PS4. And I was like looking for people to play, and I found someone, so I joined their community. But their big game that they streamed mostly was Guilty Gear Strive. And I'm like, oh, this game looked pretty good. And wouldn't you know it, there was like a weekend where you could try out the game. And I fell in love with Bridget. I was like, oh, Bridget, I remember Bridget. Like, you know the meme, everyone's gay for Bridget?
Yes.
Like, yeah, I remember her. So I picked her up, and she is fun to play. Can't take a hit, but I love her either way. So I just started playing Strive, and last year I branched out of anime fighters to play traditional fighters, starting with City of the Wolves. But that also had a beta, and at first I was interested in Rock, but then Terry, like, oh, I remember Terry. I know who he is. And then I like looked him up more and got really invested in Terry. I see that he's in my background.
Yep.
And it's like, he's so cool. I love him. I will pick Terry in any fighting game possible. And fun fact, it is actually his birthday today at the time of this podcast. So
awesome.
Happy birthday, Terry Bogard.
Yep.
He made club sandwiches and Coke with lemon to celebrate the occasion.
Yep.
That's like his favorite food.
Yeah, Terry would now be 55 years old.
And I love my 55-year-old millennial who thinks he's still cool.
Yeah. All right, Christie.
Jesus. Much like Mr. Nintendo, I grew up on the East Coast and still on the East Coast. But I was in a bowling league growing up, which bowling league meant access to arcades. So I was there for Street Fighter 2. I was there for that first Mortal Kombat. I think, and like I like those games because it was just like, you know, just larger life characters, like, you know. If you'll remember the mid-90s, like Street Fighter got a movie of various quality. Mortal Kombat got a good movie. But it wasn't until Capcom started doing the collab with Marvel, like Street Fighter, Children X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs Street Fighter. That's when I really just like decided to get into fighting games more, just because like the art styles were so like clean. It's like perfect aesthetic. Like those Marvel characters look like how they should look like versus like your Marvel rivals or whatever the Token Souls is nonsense. It felt right. Like those games play like a dream. And from there, a little gem called Soul Calibur dropped in the Dreamcast. And I went from being someone who was like, okay at fighting games to I will ruin you in Soul Calibur. Like, guarantee, I will ruin you. Zheng Wang, Keelik in one, and then just Keelik and Cassandra from that point going forward. So I had Soul Cal, I had those Marvel fighters. And then like I kind of fell off just because like life happens, right? You know, I played casually. I played the Injustices, and I like those games. I played Street Fighter 4 was great. Messed around with that, but nothing really held my interest until Street Fighter 6 came out, and Street Fighter 6 is great, like one of the best modern fighters. I feel like whatever Capcom does well with a fighting game, the industry is better for it. But even then, I kind of fell off it recently because I played for the first 12 months. It's great, but I have a partner and a full-time job, and I stream, so like staying on top of fighting games is kind of hard, even though she says that with 300 hours in Tekken 7. But like nothing really drew me back. It's like I like fighting games, but fighting games are it's a weird place to be in fighters, because it really is just Street Fighter at this point now, and Strive, because Tekken 8 is like that last patch kind of messed that game up.
Yeah.
And I morally cannot support any SNK game because their parent company commits actual crimes.
Yes.
I don't mean that in the haha funny way. I mean, haha, no, they kill journalists. Sort of way, and like I can't support that. But I'm also I live in a capitalistic state, so I do play the new Riot fighting game 2XKO, and which allows you to play as a lesbian. And so like that's I can be compromised. So it's been a lot of 2X these days. I stream it every week, and it's I don't know, man. 2X it hits that Marvel scratch where it looks great. It's simple to pick up, hard to master, and it's just like I like me a tag fighter. Like I like Dragon Ball back in the day, minus the fact that it was like that 3/4 of that cast was old Goku's and Vegeta's, and I miss you with that. But yeah, that's my timeline of fight game.
So my timeline when it comes to fighting games is I first played random, like casually, like random. I was like 5 years old, didn't know what I was doing. It was when Street Fighter 2 was new. Like it was the original World Warrior Street Fighter 2. My mom just gave me a quarter. I was at a local amusement park, and they had some arcades there, so I played it there. And afterwards, like I didn't really play any fighting games until later on when I was a little older. Like I was around like 8 years old. It was like 95. I first played Mortal Kombat 2. This was right around the time when Midway was about to release Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcades. But I loved Mortal Kombat 2. My mom let me play it, even with like the controversy of like the fatalities and the blood and all that. She still let us play. It's just that she just wanted us to understand that this wasn't real, that this was just a game, and that's how it was. So that's a good parent right there. Because there are a lot of parents who will complain, but that's going to be for when I eventually do an ESRB episode. But anyway, play Street Fighter in the arcades or my uncle's house, but it wasn't until like in 96, I want to say, like I was 9 years old at the time before I turned 10. It was during the summer. It was Sundays whenever my mom would take us to go get pizza, and then there was like a corner store nearby that would rotate arcade games, and they had Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, and I played that. I would also go to there's a Nathan's Famous that I went to that had multiple arcade machines, because like I've gone there to play like stuff from Namco, stuff from like Konami.
Question, where are y'all going to the Nathan's that had arcade machines? Because I went to one in Brooklyn that had 0 arcade machines, and I am like high-key mad. Like, I was denied hot dogs and video games. Are you kidding me at 5? That is perfection.
There was one in Yonkers, New York.
Okay.
That's the one I went to. And
Mine was Long Island.
Long Island?
Oh, okay, so fake New York. Because like I grew up in Brooklyn and Staten Island, and like the less said about Staten Island, the better.
Yeah.
But like the Nathans where I grew up in Brooklyn had 0 arcades.
Yeah, because
And then like, the one in Brooklyn I go to also 0 arcades. So like, what the hell?
Yeah, because the one in Yonkers, my parents would take me, or my older brother would take me, and my mom and my younger brother, so that because my older brother, he was kind of getting out of video games at the time for his own personal reasons, whereas for me and my younger brother, if anything, around this time we were getting even more into it, and that's where I first played Marvel superheroes, and I fell in love with it. Because that along with like the cartoons and the toys is actually what got me into comic books.
It's wild because like I feel like more than anything, Marvel vs. Capcom, its ilk, like exemplified. Like it was the same Spider-Man and same Wolverine from those shows, right? Down to the voice acting and like the look. So like it was a weird like media tie-in that wasn't like intentional but not intentional. And I man, it's cool as hell.
Yeah, just hearing Wolverine's actual voice for the show in the game, I was hooked. Because I remember, because I watched a lot of X-Men religiously as a kid, every day, like every weekend, like, and just that alone, I was getting my ass handed to me by a bunch of teenagers when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. And eventually I started playing the game more, getting better. Like, it actually made me want to play the game more. And then I was also getting into 3D fighters like Virtua Fighter, Tekken, but more so Virtua Fighter at the time. I wouldn't get into Tekken until later, like when Tag Tournament came out and 3, but then everything changed the moment that I laid my hands on X-Men versus Street Fighter. I was like, wow, Street Fighter? X-Men? And then I just could not stop playing it. Like, I loved it.
What was your team?
I would rotate between Ken and Gambit, or I would use Wolverine and Chun-Li. Like, I would rotate characters, but those were the ones I would use the most.
Cyclops Ryu here, just because like
Yeah.
Ryu, like you shoot fireball not that hard, and like Cyclops is my dude. But on the girl who's like, yeah, no, Cyclops is my favorite X-Men growing up.
And the thing is that, like, we got to see how, like, a new look for Cammy. She wasn't even in Alpha 2 yet, but this was basically the version of Cammy where she was one of those dolls that Bison controlled just to send them out and kill people. That version of Cammy. And then afterwards, like, I was like, okay, if this was going to be amazing, and I was absolutely looking forward to Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, and then that game came out, and that was a huge disappointment. It wasn't anywhere near as good as X-Men versus Street Fighter. Like, it wasn't a bad game, but
yeah, I think hype alone just made it happy because, like, you know, you had Spider-Man, you had like the big characters, right?
But there,
not just the X-Men.
Yeah, but it had a couple of issues because, like, they took a lot of the Infinites out, and a lot of the characters played most of the same. But then when we got Marvel vs. Capcom 1, that's a different story right there. Way better of a game. Like, just getting, like, because it introduced me to characters like Strider and Captain Commando, and I was like, oh, Mega Man's in this? And then, like, I recognized Morrigan because I remember playing Vampire Savior in the arcades, which one of my favorite arcade games. And then I remember getting the PlayStation 1 version of the game, only to find out that there's no tag team mode. So
no, wasn't there like a tag team mode, but you had to be playing the same two characters in versus, so like you had to do Spider-Man Ryu and Spider-Man versus Ryu?
That was the only thing they had. Because other than that, like, it was just one-on-one. You just choose an assist, and then that's it. Because the problem with X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter on PlayStation had the same issue. But at least with Marvel vs. Capcom, in North America, we actually had an option. The Dreamcast version, because that had the tag team system, whereas they did release it on Saturn, but only in Japan because the Saturn did terribly here. And Saturn tend to have better, like the fighting games, the 2D fighting games tend to run better on Saturn than they did on PlayStation. But then afterwards, like 2000s, I play a lot of fighting games, like pretty much everything on PlayStation 2, GameCube. Never owned an Xbox, but yeah, PlayStation 2 and GameCube. Hell, even Game Boy Advance had like some solid fighting games on there. Granted, you're limited to the amount of buttons you had, but
Yeah.
And then I remember PSP had some solid fighting games, like Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max was great, and Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, but for me, it wasn't until like when it was the Wii, the 360, and the PS3 era. Like the Wii had Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
It was so busted. I loved it.
But I know that there's debates on this particular series, and there's a specific question on it. We'll talk about like once we get to the community questions later on. But there was another fighting game series that blew me away. The moment that I got to see a bunch of characters from one brand cross over to face off against each other, and that series ended up being Super Smash Brothers. Just seeing how, like, on the 64, because at the time, like, how Mario, like, Kirby, Link, Pikachu, like, all those characters were coming together to fight each other, and I wanted a piece of that. And when I finally, it's actually what wanted me to get a Nintendo 64. And when I finally got one, my brother and I played a lot of that. But then, it wasn't until the GameCube when Melee came out, and that was even better, way better than 64. I just kept playing it, and I play pretty much any Smash game now. Granted, like online notwithstanding, I still enjoy Smash, but yeah, and. Fighting games have been pretty much around like my entire life. So now the next question I'll ask is, and I'm going to start with Menitta on this one. What are some fighting games you're enjoying right now?
So right now, like number one, Street Fighter 6. Like I got the Cammy poster right here. I really like I said, I was at Evo 2024. That I competed in Street Fighter 6. And then before, when I was living back in Washington, I actually was able to attend a local tournament. Unfortunately, I went 0-2, but it was all for Street Fighter 6. I was loving Street Fighter 6 so much. I think that's like right now, I think that is the best fighting game. Like it's, you got the World Tour mode. You got all the really cool characters. Every single one feels so unique compared to their previous iterations in the series. And also just like the vibes of that game, you know, the music, the aesthetic, the paint everywhere, all the characters that I have going on. It's I love it so much. But as far as like other fighting games beyond that, honestly, that's the only one that I'm really like playing right now. Before I moved, I was playing a lot of Tekken 8. I really liked playing as Lydia. The Prime Minister of Poland. For some reason, I think that is my favorite character in Tekken. Yeah, I think like as far as like fighting games that I'm actively playing, it's mostly Street Fighter 6. I will pop in like I'll pop in Fightcade and play Street Fighter 3 a bunch, or Killer Instinct 2013, but again, primarily it's Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. All right. Barry?
Right now I'm still playing Guilty Gear Strive.
Yes.
But I recently got into Street Fighter 6, and I'm having a little bit of frustrations with it, mainly DI. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of trying to play the game and someone just hits DI. But that's my fault for not reacting, but I'll get there eventually. I cannot let Terry down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Jab 3 times, then you got it.
Yeah. Right now, I'm at silver 3, which I think is pretty good.
All right. Christy?
As I mentioned earlier, I've been playing that 2XKO, the Riot free-to-play tag fighter, and like that's mostly it. The character Vi from Arcane, League of Legends, various Riot media, obviously means the world for me if the pink hair and the eyebrow notch wasn't a fucking dead giveaway. Like when I say she trans my gender, like yeah, no. Every so often I'll be ever hear of Arcane, like oh yeah, and then like something will go on someone's head, like oh, like yeah, that's that. So it's been that, which I fucking like. I have about 70 hours in it already. I play with my buddy weekly. We lab, and we just got into ranked, and we placed bronze. We're already both in silver. And it's just like it's like every fighting game for me is on some level chasing Marvel. And I feel like 2X is the first one in a long time that scratches that itch. I would say like Fighter Z did that, and now it's this, and I'm excited for the new characters. They announced 2 new ones in the coming year, and they're both great, and they're both femme, so like that's neat.
Yep.
It's not like 20 dudes and like one chick like it was back in the day.
Yeah.
Like your Chun-Li's, Chun-Li is important for the culture. Don't get me wrong. So is Sonya Blade, but like it's nice now we have fighting games where sometimes there's more ladies. Shout out to Skullgirls.
Yep.
I think the only other fighting game, again, Street Fighter 6 is incredible. I love it. I just haven't touched it in a minute, and once I get it for PC, I'll probably pick it up again. My go-to if I want to play a fighting game just by myself, not worry about the internet, and just fuck around, is that Marvel vs. Capcom collection Capcom put out like what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah. Just because like I'm an old, and the PlayStation 1 aesthetic is just so timeless to me. Granted, those ports are kind of ass, but like it's just like that like that's the nostalgia I have. It's just like that either like the super blocky polygon characters that you saw in Resi's 1 to 3, and then just like the 2D fighters like Alpha 3, Marvel's Capcom, and I love Alpha 3. Don't get me wrong, but like it's not Marvel. Marvel felt bigger than it probably was, but like you look at the history of the FGC and how like memes and whatnot, like is Marvel was like the all-time like fighting game meme, like it's the Alpha and the Omega. Marvel? Yeah, exactly. East Coast Philly, where you at? Like that's like
yes.
Mortal Kombat doesn't have that meme. Like Tekken doesn't have that meme. Fucking Battle Arena Toshinden doesn't have any memes because no one thought about Battle Arena.
Oh God, Battle Arena Toshinden.
1998. Yeah. When I say I'm old, but like it's like it's Marvel. Marvel's the culture. Like people don't pop off for Immortal. Like you announced Marvel 2 for Evo, which rest in peace Evo. You're not what you were anymore.
Yeah.
Going back to the war crimes of it all. Like when they announced the one Evo, Marvel came back, and then Evo didn't happen because COVID. But still, there was hype for that, right? Like no one's if you do Tekken 3 at Evo, no one's gonna give a shit. And like I like Tekken. I think Tekken's a neat game. But yeah, it's gonna be Marvel for now. And then like Token Soul looks alright. I don't know. Like I like Axe System, but they did make some great stuff. It just like it seems excessive in a way that is rubbing me the wrong way. It's like a 4v4, and there's only 20 characters at launch, and that shit is $70, and like 7 of them costumes is ass. Like I hate it.
It's actually 60.
Okay, it's 20. Like,
so, but
that's not like like this is like grandma yelling about it. I grew up reading comics. I still read comics. It's like one of the most kissing things in my life.
Yeah,
I hate it when they change Spider-Man's costume. Like Spider-Man has like so much good in use. Like the black costume rips, that Future Foundation rips. You take the classic costume, arguably the best costume in comics. Don't at me. And you add white to it. It's like, what are we doing here? Like Sony doesn't get to do that. Neither does the R system. So like it's a lot of it is kind of ass. Like Captain America has a dumb jacket, and Iron Man's a Gundam, and Grandma.
Iron Man Gundam is really cool though.
If you're gonna like go off model for Iron Man, there are cooler variants you can use, and not just like check it out. Here's a Gundam. Now you care about Iron Man. No, I don't.
Well, they did that because you need to get the special edition to get all the old costumes.
Yeah,
right. So it is now a $90 game, and which I say we'll see how it's on a Steam sale. What Steam sale is that one? But yeah, no, it's gonna be 2X until Riot fucks that game up even more. Again, that's the game. For people who aren't aware, that game launched with a staff of 160 people and laid off half the dev team. Granted, 80 people working on that means there's more people working on 2X than Street Fighter or Tekken at the or like any SNK fighter at the time. It's still not great, and that's what a fun industry the game industry is. Anyway, rant over. But yeah, 2XKO is the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I eventually want to try out Marvel Token. I'm just waiting for a PC beta just to see how it actually is first.
Yeah, I'm worried because
Let's see.
we mentioned Super Best Friends podcast earlier. I grew up on the other side of the tracks. I'm a girly who likes Super Eye Patch Wolf, so I know Wooly from the Versus. Yeah, shout out to John Wooly. Wooly was talking about that on a Versus Wolf recently. It was just like 2x Koi is it, Token is not, and I was like, oh, if Wooly's not feeling it, then that's worrisome.
Yeah.
I am kind of curious about the a few weeks ago I think they put out a video like showing off all the changes like to how tag works and like all the frame advantages and like they're making a lot of meaningful changes to the game, at least from the feedback from the beta. So I want a new beta. I really want to see what that game is going to end up looking like come August once it actually releases. So I'm curious for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Steve, what about you? Like, what are some fighting games you're enjoying now?
Well, I'm kind of in between fighting games, so it's just down to what betas came out. I'm still waiting to get my hands on a console beta of Invincible Versus because I know it's
All
being
right.
made by people who worked on Killer Instinct, the new Killer Instinct. So I'm excited to see that because it looks pretty good, and I'm a fan of the show already. But other than that, I was in the second, I think, Tokon beta, and while I did enjoy it, it was playing a little bit slow. But I love that their survey they put out was not like your typical survey that just gives you 1 through 5. They wanted to know what was boring, what did you really want in the game that's been in other fighting games. So that video, as he stated, like, yeah, it really showed that they care and they want to make this one work because we're obviously not getting certain characters because if they're in the background, they're most likely not coming. So,
Yep.
but it was nice to see Steve Bloom return as Wolverine. So that was already like, all right, you're giving us the English voices too. This is great. I tried the Switch 2 version of Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, the beta test for that. That ran really well. So I'm looking forward to that. You can either get it digitally for $20 or you can pay the full 60 if you want all the micro extras.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that as well. Getting back into Virtua Fighter. For some reason, Virtua Fighter is almost like Mortal Kombat. You just jump right in and you're like, oh yeah, I know everybody's moves from back in the day.
True. Yeah, that's how it is with me. So in terms of what I'm playing now, like I play Street Fighter 6 on occasion. Like my mains in that game are Ken and Terry, but I also cycle around and try out some other characters. I do need to spend time learning how to play as Kimberly. I want to spend time to learn how to play as Lily. I tried Marisa, but she's not for me.
Love Marisa.
She looks fantastic, but her playstyle just doesn't work for me. Same thing with Zangief.
It's wild. Like traditionally Street Fighter, I was a Shoto girl. Like Ryu, Ken, Sakura, my go-tos. 6 dropped. I was like, oh, large buff woman with I was like, that's kind of hype. I'm gonna give her a shot. And like it's the best I've been at Street Fighter. Like I was a monster in my rankings, and I did okay when I played ranked. I think I just like got tired of it and just like I like Marisa a whole bunch again.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's cool when women can have different body types and just like not frail, skinny white girl who has whatever. Again, shout out Sonya Blade, but like it's cool that there's more than Sonya Blade these days.
100%. Like, and I still play Smash Ultimate a lot. Like, well, not as much as I used to, but whenever I do, like, because my main in that like is one character I never thought would ever be in Smash, which actually is Terry. I never thought he would ever be in Smash. And
my favorite thing about Terry in Smash was when they announced that someone, like back when we were still using Twitter, someone on Twitter was like, Nintendo's gonna ask a kid to put a motion input in, and a 16-year-old is gonna go on a fucking shooting rampage because of it. And I was like, damn, damn. That being said, Terry in Smash fucking rips. I love Terry.
Same. Like,
Shellshock, before we continue, how does it feel playing a fighting game with the Switch 2 Pro controller?
it's easily one of the best controllers in the market right now. Like
the
like
D-pad.
Yes, I would say this right here is on par with like some of the best like Xbox controllers out there right now. Like, because right here I have the Xbox Series X controller I use for my PC.
Go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'd say that this is very close.
I just
on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Joy-Cons are probably the worst way to play fighting games.
Yeah,
agree.
Joy-Cons are goaded for Tetris and nothing else.
yes.
Because your D-pad is actually 4 buttons if you play left-handed. So I'm like, I can't play it.
Like,
I just wish they made Xbox controllers that last more than a year and a half, because I'm not sure about y'all, but like this generation of controllers, with the exception of the Joy-Cons, for some reason I'm the one who has the blessed drift-free Joy-Con. But like I'm on like the second round of PS5 controllers. I want to say we've bought an ungodly amount of like Xbox One controllers because drift or D-pads, and it's not just me. I go on the internet to read reviews, and it seems just like whatever it is.
yeah.
That being said, shout out to Hori. I have a Hori like controller for the
I have a
Switch.
Fighting Commander from Hori. It's great.
Yeah, and I use this for 2x, and I got it for like $30 at our Micro Center, and it's light. It's the shoulders are nice. Shout out to Hori.
Yeah. Like, I would like more modern controllers that are like this, but have 2 extra face buttons specifically for fighting games in mind. Like have like new modern fight pads. Like that's what I would love to see more of. In terms of other fighting games that I play, like I also play some older stuff because of collections, like the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I tend to play that a lot. Like
That's the one with the SNK games, right?
like I got
Yes.
that, but the main reason for me it's less so for CVS 2, but you want to know what's the main series that I wanted to support more than anything? I wanted to
Plasma Sword.
no Power Stone. Like I love Power Stone 2 so much. I was more excited.
Man, I love Power Stone. Don't get me wrong. I just think I like the solid around that. I can't go back because like nothing's gonna beat sitting in your friend's living room with 4 controllers and the Dreamcast and like like the gamer of 2000, you're drinking Mountain Dew, eating pizza, and like man, I love that. Now that sounds like heartburn.
Yeah, like I just could not believe like that we would have Power Stone. Like and then like Project Justice is also a pretty good fighting game. Like the second Rival Schools is better than the original Rival Schools. So good.
I never really played
Same.
any of the Project Justice or Rival Schools games, but once that collection came out, I immediately fell in love. They're so good.
So I don't know all the games on there. I have a very dumb question though. Is Techromancer on that shit?
No, but
Necromancer isn't. There's one of them that has one of the collections has Techromancer, doesn't it?
no, it has its predecessor, Cyberbots.
Yeah, I
Cyberbots,
thought
that's
so.
what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
no. I didn't know Techromancer existed like 3 years after it came out. My friends was like, "Oh, let's play Techromancer." It's like, well, what the fuck is that? I was like, "Oh, a big robot game." I was like, "Say less."
I
Say
first
less.
I first played Techromancer at a local comic book shop, which is now it's a tech store, but at the time it was a comic book shop. They had Techromancer, and that game was so good.
I miss that weird Gonzo era of like late 90s, early 2000s Capcom, where like they put out like 4 to 5 fighting games a year.
Yeah.
Were they all good? Debatable. Were
Plasma Sword.
were Plasma Sword, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
That game is goated though.
No, I'm saying
game's
like
awesome.
but the quality gap though, right? Like JoJo's
True,
great.
true, yeah.
Plasma Sword, it's a fighting game, right? It's a fighting game.
It was okay.
Final Fight Revenge.
Oh god,
Right,
Final Fight
yeah.
Revenge. Oh god.
Yeah, it was just like that weird, just like all the place Capcom, just like it was insane. But like I missed that just because I felt like them and Square Enix were just like putting out the weirdest shit, and like never again your Parasite Eves, your fucking American Stories and whatnot for not RPGs, not fighting games. You know what I'm saying? Like they took a lot of weird chances, and I missed that.
Like I had like this one fever dream that Capcom actually released a fighting game, which this does not exist whatsoever. But it was a game that was like Darkstalkers, but instead of Darkstalkers, they pretty much made their own knockoffs of like like those Grimm's fairy tale characters. Basically that, but as a fighting game, and it was called Unhappily Ever After.
I feel like we were like 5 minutes away from getting that in like 2003, like when like Activision had their Super Edgelord like reimagining. It's like, check it out. Here's a bike game where you can see some titties. Here's a rollerblading game. Now here's some fucked up fairy tales.
Oh my
also,
God.
Jonathan gave some chords in this game for some reason. We don't know
Yeah.
why.
That's like fucking putting Fred Durst in wrestling. Oh wait.
Fred Durst? You mean Fred Durst from fighting game Fight Club?
Oh God, that was a thing. Oh my God.
I worked at GameStop at the time. I had to explain that to somebody, and they're like, "Is it good?" I was like, "No,
No, but
absolutely not."
it's like I was watching a stream from like I was watching a stream of where like there was this fighting game that Namco made. It was like a fighting game / beat 'em up, and it had both Paul Phoenix and martial law.
Yeah,
in it.
no, I know
It
what
was
you're
called
talking
Urban
about.
Reign.
Yeah, that game was not great
It wasn't.
because they tried that, and then they had Death by Degrees starring Nina Williams, which is a real piece of shit.
That game, like they Death by Degrees, like I mean, I remember seeing that, and then again at the same time, because I confused it with another game that was like an RPG, and that was Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. But less said about that, the better.
Can I tell you my Dirge Cerberus real quick?
Go ahead, real quick.
My partner didn't grow up with too many video games. She had like a PS2 and whatnot, and then like jump ship, and then play a game, and then to like the Switch, PS5 era.
Yeah.
But she has fondness of 2 games from the PS2, and it's Kingdom Hearts 1. Well, it's the Kingdom Hearts series, I would say. Which, hey, shout out the Kingdom Hearts. Those games are fun. And it's Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, really?
Like,
Shout out to Vincent Valentine again, I guess. But yeah, no, fucking
and
certainly a game.
that segues me real quick to talk about
Guys?
our guys.
God bless the ring.
I love our guys.
What's the ring?
I
Unironically.
paid $10 for my copy for that game in 2000, and that game went for a lot of money because it turns out a lot of people like Final Fantasy VII. You guys hear about that game, Final Fantasy VII?
No, never heard of it.
No.
It's like a weird
Sounds
like
pretty
Japanese like I think it's like a visual novel or some shit. People seem to like it though. Everyone looks like Goku.
Yeah.
Blonde Goku? I agree.
Blonde Goku. Yeah. Yeah, because we were all liking Dragon Ball Z back then, so we thought that this was something that will quench our thirst. But unfortunately, like it wasn't Dragon Ball Z. It didn't pretend to be, but I did enjoy a couple of Dragon Ball Z games. Like I didn't really play that much of Fighter Z, but I used to play a lot of Budokai back in the day. I could not, however, get myself into like the Tenkaichi Budokai stuff, which is why I can't see myself ever playing Sparking Zero, because that's a game that I think I'll probably play for maybe like an hour or two, then put the game on my shelf and never go back. And that's not necessarily meaning that the game is bad or anything. It's probably just not for me. Yeah.
I like Dragon Ball a whole bunch. I think Dragon Ball is an important franchise, great for the culture. I think one of the hypest things you could do is see a Dragon Ball movie like day one, because people will go insane. Dragon Ball fighting games are fun in a very stupid way, but nothing is gonna top me walking to a GameStop one day and it's like shopping around and someone answering the call and going, "No, we don't have Dragon Ball Z Bukaki. I think it's called something else, by the way." And I'm just sitting there being like, I am 19 and this is the funniest shit. Anyway, can I get my copy of Harvest Moon for the Game Boy?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, like I just rotate between some of the fighting games. Like I also have the Mortal Kombat collection, which they did patch a lot of it.
Cool.
It's better now. I just kind of wish that Bandai Namco wasn't so, and to a lesser extent Sega, I wish they weren't allergic to making fighting game collections. I would like a Virtua Fighter collection from Sega, and I would like a Tekken collection. I can understand why they wouldn't be able to do Soul Calibur because there's licensed characters.
Yeah, but it kills me. Like, give me Soul Calibur, please.
At least on the Switch 2, you can play Soul Calibur 2, but I would like a collection that has like the other games. Like people should play Soul Calibur 1, people should play Soul Calibur 3, 4.
So I'm a purist. I think Soul Calibur 1 and 2 are the best, and it kind of goes downhill after that. The fact that Soul Calibur 1 isn't on anything, I think past like the 360 like arcade collection is infuriating.
I agree.
That game, like, if you want to talk about like fighting game tentpole, Soul Calibur 1 is like one of the best fighting games, hands down. I will fight someone over that. And it kills me that like I can play it on my Xbox, but that requires me setting up an Xbox. You know, and like it's like, why is it on Steam? Like, charge me $20. You know, I like GOG, please. I'm dying, GOG. Just put it on PC. Like,
Just give it to me.
I will pay $50 for like a vanilla port of like Soul Cal. I do not give a shit.
I would also pay like 40 $50 for a Street Fighter 4 collection because I love Street Fighter 4.
I guess you could get it on Steam, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you can get it on Steam.
So with
True.
with Ultra Street Fighter 4, you can play the old versions of every character. So like you could play Vanilla Sagat versus Arcade Edition Yun.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I had a Steam Deck, at least I could play on the go. But Steam Decks are hard to come by these days because
Really glad I got my deck when I did.
Because you know why.
What a game changer.
yeah,
But that thing is so much fun.
which is why it's like I don't have a Steam Deck, so I have to just hope that Capcom will be like, you have Street Fighter games on Switch and Switch 2. You can put it here too, and you could also put it.
Input delay collection.
Delay collection.
Damn.
Well-
You're right though, but damn.
Marvel does not have the input delay though.
Marvel doesn't. You are correct.
Like
Yeah.
that's the one they knew they had to get right. They knew
Yeah,
that
people would burn down Capcom. You kidding me? Like, I feel like that was like the one direct, like they announced Marvel and like whatever they announced. They could have announced like 5 new Zeldas, and people were like, "Yeah, but Marvel."
Yeah.
When's Marvel though?
like
Marvel.
I feel like there's out of all the reactions I've seen for that, nothing beats the one that Maximilian dude did. Like, because you can't beat that. Like,
No, I mean, no, like I have issues with Max, but like his hype was palatable.
It was.
Like, it was, yeah.
like that collection is one of the collections I've always wanted. It's like I have a few collections that were like the collections of my dreams. That was one. The other one was the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection, which you can play.
I'll pick that up.
You can play Tournament Fighters on that online. Which the problem with online for collections from Digital Eclipse is that Digital Eclipse is great in regards to everything, like presentation, games, and preservation, all that stuff. But online is not their best.
I feel like it's an art when it's up. Like you have Iron Galaxy does a good job. Capcom, more often than not, I'll be generous, does a good job. And then Bandai Namco doesn't make collections, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not, which is upsetting for a number of reasons.
The other thing also is that like I just like to circle around, play fighting games casually, but it's all fun. We'll definitely talk about the competitive and casual differences later on. And also reading what Noble Boy said in the chat, which one has delay then? Pretty much like the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection definitely has delay, that's for certain. The Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. And I absolutely was. I think it was a great collection in terms of what they did. It's just if you play it online, not a good idea.
Yeah.
The art and like the behind the scenes stuff that they put in that collection, like it's a good thing to buy. Like you'll get value out of it. It's just like as your go-to version to play Third Strike or Super Turbo or what have you. It's not it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Third Strike. I wish I was better in Third Strike, but like what a masterpiece of a fighting game. Like
Yep.
you want to talk about that presentation, like those sprites are gorgeous, the gameplay is unbeatable, like the soundtrack fucking slaps. Like again, I mentioned like one of the pillars, it's the Third Strike's up there. If not like the most important fighting game of all time, like it's up there.
Yep. As they say about Third Strike, it's just peak. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like it's my favorite Street Fighter game. I will say 6 actually comes really close so far, but Third Strike is so good. Now I want to ask the next question. Barry, we're going to start with you on this one. What are your favorite fighting games of all time?
My favorite fighting games of all time. Oh wow. I don't know if I want to say Strive, but I've been playing. I have 300 hours, so I guess I put clock in Strive.
Yep.
A fighting game, like favorite.
How many?
I guess I'll say Persona 4 Arena. No, Ultimate Max.
Yeah.
Because that is like the fighting game that jumpstart into me playing fighting games. I played a little bit of Guilty Gear. Oh, Accent Core Plus. I played that over the winter with some friends, and that's like my favorite Guilty Gear out of all of them.
All right.
Definitely Accent Core Plus, yeah.
Yeah, I played Accent Core. I haven't played much of Accent Core Plus though.
It's on Steam occasionally for $4. I think I bought maybe 2 copies so my friends could play with me.
Ooh.
At some point, they added rollback to it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like a year or two ago, I want to say.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not long ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's really fun. It's fast. If you like Bridget and Strive, she's like way faster in Accent Core Plus. Her yo-yo setup is crazy.
Mhm.
She could just time you out. She didn't even have to engage with you.
Bridget is insane in every game. Every single Guilty game she's in, Bridget is just insane.
That's
every
because
single
people
time.
don't know the secret about trans women. We can double jump naturally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
canon.
True.
That's true. Like,
That's not.
Celeste.
yeah,
Here-
I mean, Celeste put it out there, right? Like, with trans women can double jump naturally. Not me. I lost that ability. I dropped my agility to put it into charisma, so which worked out great for me. But don't ask grandma to double jump because I would just look at you and be like, no. I'm also 6'4", so low ceilings are a problem. I also see ceiling fans. Also
Yeah.
see certain variety of birds.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other fighting games?
The other fighting games, occasionally playing like the older KOF games. Like 2002 was pretty fun, and
Yeah, that
I
was a good one.
played a little bit of Blaze Blue Central Fiction. Also a fast anime fighter.
That one.
I wanted to play Naoto, but his playstyle, if they had a dash macro, he would be perfect for me. But I kind of went with Hibiki because his playstyle is like really fun.
Yeah.
Is that
My
the one
friend,
that's like got the Attack on Titan kind of like?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that's who I played in the brief period that I played in Blaze Blue.
I showed my friend like one of his combo trials, the B, C, and he's like, "No fucking way, that's a real combo." And it's like, yeah.
I was a Ragnar one trick.
Mhm. Oh my god! Shout outs to Evil Zone. Like I was looking at the chat.
Evil Zone. Evil
Why?
Zone. Oh, boy.
The single player is not that bad though. Like I enjoyed it for what it was. It's
Bad?
no, it's not that bad. It's, you want
Debatable.
I'll tell you what's bad in a little bit when it's my turn. But
Okay.
I played Evil Zone before. I like it. Any other fighting games, Barry?
Those are like the few that I've played in the past year and a half.
Okay, sounds good. Christy, what about you? Your favorite fighting games of all time?
I'll give you my top 5 and a runner-up. Runner-up is Mark of the Wolves OG. Just because, like I played a lot of SNK games prior to the War Crimes. Just because like KOF is like just like that art style is great. Like I'm a big visual girl, and like those sprites ripped. Like KOF was it 15 was the last like which one was the last one that had like traditional 2D sprites?
That was 13.
13.
Thank you. Yeah, 13 looked incredible. Like, are you kidding me? Like 13 looked incredible. It kills me that game does not get enough love, but that's okay. But it's Garu. Garu, like we talk about like Terry and Rock's design's great. Like it was a cool thing that like it did it with the Street Fighter thing where it's like legacy characters plus like a few OGs. And also just play like a dream. I love Garu. Then if we're doing top 5, it's gonna be SoulCal 1. Because I love SoulCal 2, but SoulCal 1 is the GOAT. Like OG, like so super good. Didn't need crossovers to sell, just was a great fighting game. Obviously Marvel's Capcom 2. Just because like, it's the moment, right? Like it's Marvel did stuff with the FGC that other fighting games could never, right?
Yeah.
My weird Street Fighter pick. Now, I will agree, Dirt Strike's a better game, and I will agree that Street Fighter 6 is a better game, but I fucking love Alpha 3.
Yeah, that's a good one
Alpha
too.
3, like, that's the first, like, Street Fighter I bought in a minute, and, like, I mean, it's a good game. It's a good game. Is it, like, an old-timer? Debatable, but, like, large cast, looked great, played well. I love Alpha 3. It's like, that's my nostalgia bait pick. Um, then, jeez. You know what? I really like Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
I think my philosophy is Smash a fighting game? Yes, Smash is a fighting game because platform fighters are valid, tag fighters are valid, whatever. But like I approach Smash more so just being like it is a fun game to play with my friends. Like the minute you say Final Destination, no items, Fox only, I don't care. Like it's nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I want like everyone's playable, dumb items. Like the more chaotic, the better. I like there being a great equalizer.
Yeah.
And it's Smash, and then obviously 2X. I think just because like the rep, like queer weapon in fighting games is a minefield at best, and like I hate to single her out, but like I like Brisket, but I was there when Brisket was new, and the slurs were a poppin', and I don't mean that in the fun, trans women say slurs. I mean that in the way like gamer dudes, cis dudes say slurs.
Yes.
And like I'm glad that Bridget has been reclaimed and it's done much better. But like, let's be real, that was not great. And like, especially as a trans woman, like fucking, it is, not great. The fact that 2X has at least two, and I mean not implied Street Fighter, I mean canon lesbian characters at the forefront, fucking rips. Women of color. I think for such a small like cast, it's one of the most diverse casts in a fighting game outside of like Virtual Fighter, which shout the Virtual Fighter. Fucking, you want to talk about like diversity and whatnot. But like 2X again, I'm a vibes girl. It looks, capital VI vibes. Like 2X looks great, plays like a good Marvel, and like it's hard. It's again like is it recent bias? Oh, absolutely. Like it's my top 5 though. Like it's the entire thing is biased top to bottom. But yeah, no, it's 2X. I feel like Marvel 2 built the foundation for me, and 2XKO is kind of like the distilled version of that. The free to play stuff, kind of sucks, and like a lot of like shitty cosmetic properties, but it's a ride game. What are you expecting? But yeah, that's my top 6, give or take.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Steve?
Mine's gonna kind of go all over the place as well. Shout outs to King of Fighters 13 for showing me that you can do hand-drawn 3D models. That was really surprising, especially how many months it took to do each character. The only thing that bothered me about King of Fighters is my ladies team. Whoever Mai was stuck with always had to change. It was always my king and somebody else, always different.
Yeah,
so they always like rotated out. It was like they could never get along.
Wasn't it Elizabeth in 13?
Yeah, they kept changing it. It was either I think Kasumi from Art of Fighting, and then there was sometimes they'd be like, okay, we'll put Yuri. So it seemed like they were just stuck with Art of Fighting for a while, and I'm just like, can you guys just pick one partner to keep on your team from here on out? It'd be nice.
Yep.
And for me, and this is a hot take for some people, but only the original Killer Instinct. I didn't like the direction 2 went in.
You're right though. You're right though.
And 2013 is good. It's got some nostalgia bits in there, but I was just like, it's still, I don't know. It just doesn't click the same way with the music and the graphics for me.
That's fair.
Street Fighter Alpha 2, mainly for the dramatic battle mode. That's what made that Street Fighter series different from all the other ones I've ever played. Nobody else in the Street Fighter verse has like tried really doing that again in a good way.
Yeah.
I'll be specific with the next one is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but only on the Dreamcast because of Cross Fever mode. Sorry, the first Marvel vs. Capcom Cross Fever mode.
Right.
Because they never wanted to do that, and finding out it was the arcade version in the collection when I think almost everybody was saying, is there a way to play the Dreamcast version? Are you putting in Cross Fever? Like, that was a missed opportunity for me. And another one that I played a lot of, whether my friends liked it or not, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it might have a comeback, who knows, with a different team, is Multiverses, of all things. I thought they put... I feel it was a missed opportunity with some of the characters they were going to get, including like Godzilla and such. But the characters they did have in there, they put loving care into a lot of like what they did, their moves. I just wish it was more fleshed out, and
Agreed.
it sucks that the studio got greedy.
It's
Warner Brothers.
Well, Warner-
Doesn't know how to manage a studio.
Well,
or
if you-
a company,
if you-
if you think about it.
You look into the developers; they got really greedy with like trying to go for certain characters that they spent all their money on, like proposing a character that nobody wanted. And it's like, all right.
I will say though, like I really liked multiverses when it was in beta. When they actually like took a break and then they brought it back, that killed multiverses for me.
Yeah.
It got
I mean,
super
like-
slow.
Like, was it launch or still beta? I forgot their bullshit. Was it like beta and then launch, or was it like beta and then
It was
they pulled
beta with a battle pass.
Thought so, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I played for like the first like couple of weeks, and like I really liked Harley Quinn. I thought that she was a cool character to play as, and then like I don't know, the hype wasn't there, and then like you said, they pulled it, and when it came back, no one cared.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I couldn't get enough of it. I loved it. Like, I actually loved it a lot more than the Nickelodeon one, and I had a fantastic time with multiverses. Then they pulled the plug for a year. Then when they brought it back, and I was excited to get back into it, only to find out, like, something's not right. Like, some of the characters I liked using were actually bad. Like, Taz was bad when they came back. Garnett was not as good. They nerfed her. They nerfed a lot. They pretty much nerfed everybody. And I was like, what is this? And I just dropped it, and it never went back.
It kills, and I feel bad for cutting off Mr. Nintendo, or Dr. Nintendo, my bad. That like both like that Nick fighting game and then like Multiverse was like the only two like platform fighters I felt like really had the Smash levels of hype behind them. And then just like they come out and they just like immediately do not deliver on any level.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one series that when they were going to reveal a character, you were excited because
Right.
you were like,
Yeah.
where are they pulling from? Because
Yeah.
as a Jason Voorhees main, I was just like, they have so many people they can pull from, and that's why I think like Love It or Leave It with now getting, you know, Paramount. I was just like, well, technically now they have even more licenses.
Yeah, and the less said about Paramount, the better. Unless
True.
Shellshock wants to have politics of Christie.
I don't mind, but not tonight, though. But I don't
Yeah,
mind.
no, it will be.
But-
It'll be
but-
not just you. You listen to me rant for 3 hours, and
Yes.
you're like, "All right, thanks, Christie."
Otherwise, I wouldn't mind. But
Yeah, no, yeah.
But yeah, like multiverses is a huge missed opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
like for so many reasons. Any other fighting games, Steve?
Other than that, if you want to go very weird with me,
Yeah, go ahead.
I have three which are going to be either divisive or people didn't know it existed. I have Castlevania Judgment for the Wii.
Yes, I actually kind of like it.
I loved it. The costumes were an acquired taste, but
Yeah, Death Note.
They were
Death
certainly
Note.
costumes.
Death Note.
It's Death Note.
Look, I love Death Note, but
It does.
half Death Note.
It's
but, you know, but I like how they made the system work with it. Another one many people didn't know about because I was big into importing with my GameCube games was Dream Mix TV Fighters.
Oh, that one.
Was that the shit with Optimus Prime?
So
Yes.
that was when Optimus Prime could fight Mr. Higgins, could
Yes.
fight Bomberman, could
Yes.
fight
Yeah.
Simon Belmont. It was just a Konami Smash Brothers. It was
Yeah, I'm back with you now. Okay. Yeah.
it was very simple.
What?
It was like instead
Yeah.
of doing energy, it was
Yeah,
heart
it was
based.
like a
exists.
Konami Smash clone and like bonkers.
It's actually good. It's good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the presentation's like a game show. It's really good.
Yeah. I think it was before like that, like the readily available like swap out your discs mod was available for the GameCube.
Yeah.
So like if you get, and also like, you know, the fact that Optimus Prime meant that those import fees went burr because of Transformer
Yep.
fans.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's insane.
I got it before things went crazy. And then the last one was prior to stuff like Jump Superstars. I still have a game for my GameCube called Battle Stadium DON, which is just Dragon Ball versus One Piece versus
Yeah.
Naruto only.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's played in like the platform style, and I thought they did a really great job with it, and I think that paved the way for Jump Superstars to become a real.
God, Jump Superstars though, like you're talking about Smash clones, like
And then
Jump Superstars and Jump Ultra were like it's a shame those games never got a US release because
Yeah, and it's a shame
Fucking
that they
rules.
when we did get it, it was just like Jump Ultimate Force, and I was like, don't make it 3D, don't make it. Weird.
oh, I forgot that existed.
Oh, right.
They had that one they pulled that, right? Like you can't get the game anymore.
Jump Force is delisted, yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
It was like, man, DS fighting games. That was an error.
That was
Like I
was
said,
never.
because of Super Nintendo, like I was just like, is this a fighting game? I'll try it. Is this a fighting game? I'll try it.
Yeah. All right, Menitta, what are your favorite fighting games?
Well, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, King of Fighters 12, Melty Blood. No.
What dumpster you play Melty Blood on?
Okay, Melty Blood's fine.
solid. Well, which one? Which Melty Blood?
I've played the most of I forget what the subtitle is. Not the
like-
recent one. The recent one's really good. Actress Again, I think it was called.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Melty Blood's fun. Melty Blood's fun. Don't get me wrong.
I like
But,
Melty Blood, but Melty Blood is the definition of Evo bathroom fighter.
Yeah, the bathroom.
And someone has to be the Evo bathroom fighter, right? And it's Melty Blood. Like, you go, where's your local Melty Blood attorney? Oh, it's a GameStop alleyway. The GameStop closed a decade ago. And I say that with all the love in the world.
At least you didn't say Capcom Fighting Evolution, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
No, that's
I was
the
thinking
GameStop
what's
toilet.
the worst game I could think of, but no.
That game sucks.
No.
But for it to be serious.
But before we
Yeah.
continue, I just want to say real quick regarding Capcom Fighting Evolution, that's the fighting game you're allowed to play in Sunday school.
Wait.
That's a very specific joke, and I appreciate you. Sir.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very good insult.
But go ahead, Menitta. Wait, what happened,
The
Barry?
absolute goat.
Sorry, what happened, Barry?
Like, this is a wholesome Christian fighting game? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar.
I was
So you know how some Capcom fighting games are good?
Yeah.
That this ain't one of them. Like
Okay.
historically bad. Yeah.
yeah, like
Okay.
I was just finding a different way to put it down. But sorry, Menitta, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
But yeah, the absolute goat, Third Strike. Like that's my favorite. Like Third Strike. You know how a lot of people are like, anytime Deus Ex gets mentioned, I gotta reinstall Deus Ex. I gotta start playing
Yeah.
it. I'm like that with Third Strike. I gotta
Rightfully so,
boot up
yeah.
Fightcade and just start playing Makoto. I entered the Third Strike tournament in EVO 2024. I did not go 0-2, which made me feel good because I am not very good at fighting games, but that works. I love that game to death. It is so much fun. Killer Instinct 2013. I think that's probably my second favorite because just like that as a complete package. Like, first of all, that kind of like got the modern fighting game of like, you know, continued support with the season pass and all that. That kind of like started there. And I think it did it in a really, really smart way with like season 1, season 2, season 3. But then also, you know, as a game, if you're getting cooked in a combo, you still have a decision to make. It's still engaging on a very micro level. And I think a lot of fighting games don't really offer that, which is really, really cool.
Mhm.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I kind of jumped from like in my history, Cross Tekken to Street Fighter 5, but I got really into Persona 4 for a bit. And
Who's your main?
Arena Ultimax. Yeah, that game's goated.
No, who's your main?
I kind of jumped around a bunch. I started with Chie. I really liked playing as Chie because, you know, she was the waifu. But then I recently kind of settled with Mitsuru, which usually I don't care for charge characters, but Mitsuru is a lot of fun in that game.
Did you play Shadow Mitsuru as well?
Shadow Mitsuru, I know Shadow Mitsuru is like really, really technical. I couldn't wrap my head around the Shadow characters. Yeah, that game is really, really good.
Yeah.
Recently, a recent one that I started getting really into was Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising.
Oh, right, that one.
Oh, I love John Granblue.
Yeah, John Granblue. Yeah.
That game, yeah, surprisingly fun. I fun ass fighting game.
I picked it up after Evo, and then I went down to Seattle locals when I was living back there, and I just remember spending like an hour getting like bodied, but learning how to play that game, and that was like that game is just really special to me. It's a very simple game, but it's very pretty, very fun, and like Killer Instinct. It's very engaging on that kind of level. Not like to like combo breakers and whatnot, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then the one that I am this game's strongest soldier, and I don't care. Pokken Tournament. I love that game. That game is so fun. It is a very unique fighting game where like you got the 2D mode, but then it also will just turn into like a 3D arena fighter like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. And there's no other game like it, and I think it fits perfectly for the property of Pokemon. I think the Tekken team did a great job with capturing that essence of what Pokemon like really is about. And I love that game so much.
Yeah.
I played Pikachu, who at first sounds boring, but he is Heihachi in that game. He does Electric Wind God Fists, and it's adorable.
That's the one with Luchachu, right? The Luchador Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Pikachu Libre. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I have a weird like love-hate relationship with Pokemon. The Pokemon games I really like, and then just like hate's a strong word. Like if it's either other ones I like, I don't touch them. And I was like, is Psyduck in this? Psyduck's not in this. Well, okay. Well, you all have a good day. I hope you have fun with your Tekken Pokemon games.
I think Psyduck is one of the like assist characters.
That's not the same though. Like that's
I know it's not the same.
Yeah, no, I need my man's out there holding his head, making the funny noises because I'm the girl who liked Psyduck in '96, and to this day, if Psyduck has no fans, I'm dead. Or whatever the fucking meme goes.
Yeah.
I love my dumb yellow son.
Sigh. Any other fighting games, Menitta?
Those are
That's it?
honorable mentions. Also, Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
Yes.
Can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong there.
All right, so favorites for me? Okay. So favorites, I would have to go with Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I spent a lot of time on that, but I spent more time on it when I got it on PS2, and then when I would play it on the PS3/360 when we got the online edition. I loved Third Strike. I loved everything about it. Like just the mechanics just felt so good. I know the parrying mechanics not for everyone. I understand that, but it's just Third Strike worked so well. I felt that it was Street Fighter at its most technical that it's ever been. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, even the first one. I enjoyed Marvel vs. Capcom 1 as well. But I absolutely enjoyed the Capcom vs. SNK games. Though S3C Chaos was kind of not great.
Oh, that was yeah.
It was a bit it was disappointing.
Neat ideas, not the best execution, right?
And the roster was kind of weird. Like characters that you would expect to see on both sides were not there.
It's the roster's so weird because like most of them are Shoto characters. Like you got or not Shotos, but like the poster boys. You got Ryu, Ken, Iori, Kyo, Ryo. Like there's a ton of Shotos, and then but also you got like Mars people from Metal Slug.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
The Mega Man Zero version of Zero.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I wish that character model was good though.
Honestly,
I hate that design. It's
if they would have put Mega Man there, it would have been based on Mega Man.exe. I think they would have put him in there. Which, funny enough, there was actually a fighting game that had Mega Man Zero and Mega Man.exe. It was an Onimusha fighting game for PS2.
Right.
yeah. It's like a platform fighter, right?
Yes, it was a platform fighter. Mega Man.exe and Zero for Mega Man Zero were in that. They also but that was just an odd fighting game that I played it. It's not bad. It's just weird. It's a weird fighting game. If you want some weird fighting games, that's one to play. I think it was called Onimusha Blade Warriors.
Yeah.
But in terms of favorites, I absolutely love Super Smash Bros. Ultimate so much. Out of all the Smash games, that's the one I love so much. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum.
Underrated fighting game.
Underrated, cool.
Super fun.
I really think that Neo Geo Battle Coliseum was originally supposed to be like a sequel to SVC Chaos, but then like Capcom and SNK decided to just go their separate ways, and then they pivoted to that, which I would have actually wanted an SVC Chaos 2 that was better than what we got, and actually be a tag fighter, but Neo Geo Battle Coliseum was good. Oh yeah, the SNK versus Capcom game, Neo Geo Pocket. That's better than SVC Chaos. It's really good.
Was it a Match of the Millennium or whatever it's called? That game is awesome.
Yeah,
That's on the
For a
Switch now,
very
right?
like primitive handheld game, that game is really good.
Yeah, it's on Switch, and I think it might be on Steam as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I will say though, in terms of other fighting games, like let's see. So, Power Stone 2, Tekken 3, Tekken Tag Tournament 1. I know that Tekken 6 was not liked by a lot of people, but I kind of liked it okay. It's not my favorite game.
Bangs.
The Yodely music, for sure.
The music's really good.
Like, the Yodely music was so good they put it in Smash. And when Kazuya was brought into Smash.
Kazuya.
Let's see, what's another one? The original Killer Instinct on the arcade and Super Nintendo. I used to play it a lot.
64.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 9 was probably the one I spent the most time on out of the modern Mortal Kombat games. Because it was a return to form. It's what they needed to do. I haven't played much of Mortal Kombat X, but it's definitely good. But Mortal Kombat 11 was disappointing.
Strong disagree. I like X and 11. I'm also a casual Cassie Cage enjoyer.
Cassie Cage is awesome.
But
she's who I played in X and 11.
Yeah.
I played a ton of Mortal Kombat X. That was my favorite Mortal Kombat, by
Same.
far.
yeah,
Unfortunately, though, I do kind of have to agree. Though I was not wild about 11.
yeah, and I did not play enough of Mortal Kombat 1. I have it.
I didn't even buy it.
You don't have to.
Like
That story mode's fun, and that's it.
like I mainly just watched the story mode like cutscenes on YouTube, but that's all I did. I've played, like, I love Soul Calibur 1 and 2 a lot. Like, those are like the two Soul Calibur games I will always go back to. But for Soul Calibur 2 specifically, it has to be the GameCube version because of Link. I love using Link in that game. Like, the PS2 version, I felt so bad for the PS2 fans because they were robbed of Cloud. Cloud was originally
Going to
be
get Cloud.
I think the reason that Square backed off from that is because it was around the time when they merged with Enix to become Square Enix, and then they were like, yeah, we're not doing this. So, and then like Heihachi was just because
Was that ever proven? I thought that was just a rumor that Cloud was supposed to be for the Soul Cal 2.
I
believe it was at least in the talks.
I could have sworn that was like an EGM rumor that got some legs.
I wonder if someone were to ask Harada now, like if Harada decides to just start like talking about like the shit that went down during like when he was like still working for Bandai Namco, maybe somebody could ask him that, and maybe if he has an answer, I would like to know. But if he doesn't want to talk about it, that's fine too.
I do believe it though, because like Heihachi does seem like a last minute. We couldn't get the guest character. Let's just throw Heihachi
I think it's one
in.
of those things that Tekken's huge in Japan, right? So like it may have been like a bigger deal on that side of the world versus here. That's why I got there. But then also like you think about it, motherfucking Spawn is the Xbox choice.
Yeah.
And like who was claiming?
Because Todd McFarlane really liked Soul Calibur.
But who gave a shit about Spawn in 2004? Like Spawn peaked in '99 at most, right? Like you had the HBO series, you had the live action movie, and you had the action figures. But like 2004, people weren't as high on Spawn.
I'll tell you why. Namco actually had the license to make a Spawn game in addition to putting Spawn. Spawn was supposed to be in all 3 versions, like or rather. There wasn't originally a GameCube version. The reason there was one is because Nintendo wanted it, but said like they wanted Link, and that's why that's where they got the idea to put Cloud in PS2. Only for Square Enix, like we changed our mind.
Yeah, it was just like mind-boggling then that they got their weapons shoehorned in the other versions. Like, what do we give Heihachi as his weapon? His bracers. You can disarm his bracers from his arms. And it's like we're gonna give Spawn an axe. I was like, I've read the comics and watched even the MTV show. Where's the axe coming from?
Exactly.
Not to be that girl. Spawn was on HBO. I remember that because it was Prestige animated.
I remember that. Like fucking
Yeah, it was Friday nights. It was like Spawn and some other animated series that was like a weird sci-fi anthology that didn't last. The Image comic show that was on MTV was The Max, which was
the Max,
a show that was very good, but a show that I cannot talk about on this channel because it is complicated to say.
Oof.
Yeah,
but like anyway, fighting games in general that I love. I love, like, I will say this: I'm not the biggest Dead or Alive guy. I played them casually, but I was not really like very into them. And I do like Virtua Fighter. Like, my favorite Virtua Fighter is 2. Although 3 had some good ideas, but the execution of the slope like levels just didn't seem to fit the vibe, and that's why 4 went back to like a standard ring and everything. And yes, RIP to Takanobu Itagaki. I know, like, there were people who felt like he was a very ambitious guy when it comes to making Dead or Alive. But at the end of the day, like, it did help competition. Like, Dead or Alive was very fun. It's just that, again, not the biggest DOA guy though, but
I think 2 was like peak DOA, and they've been kind of tracing that dragon ever since to various degrees. But then, like, was it DOA 6 has like $600 in DLC?
5 and 6 are absurd with their DLC.
Yeah, I played the first 4 because like Shellshock said, diminishing returns past like 2. Like 3's not a bad game, but like it's also like the Xbox controller sucks for fighting games. Yeah.
Shout out to DOA for giving us the first female Master Chief.
They did do that.
True, actually.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
One thing I love about Itagaki is that there's that very famous interview where he's asked, like, what are your five least favorite games? Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 4, Tekken 5. Honorable mention, even though it's not out yet, Tekken 6.
There was one comment he made. Like, remember when G4 was a thing and you had G4 icons? This was used in the fighting games episode and the DOA episode. The way he compared Virtua Fighter to Dead or Alive, he called Virtua Fighter a traditional sushi restaurant, but he called DOA a sushi bar with roller skating, like girls serving wasabi on sushi. He said that.
Quite literally with blackjack and hookers.
There is no, like, I'm trying to think of like more cursed combinations than Higaki and G4 in the early 2000s, because that feels dirty. Like, I could feel the slur being called at me because that was games media in the 2000s, just like the most offensive things. And also high-key racist. Like, let's be real. Like, go back and watch some G4s. It's like, oh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah, and I have my issues, but I will definitely save a G4 talk for a future episode, because I have a lot to say regarding that, but I'll save it for that. But yeah, there's just way too many great fighting games that I played. I could just list them all, but we'll be here all night. But yeah, those are some of the ones that I really liked a lot. And I'm just going to say this right now. Criticom is the worst fighting game I've ever played.
Criticom. Oh boy.
To the point where it became an actual YouTube series that Matt McMuscles did.
Yep.
Like, so he could find games that were worse than Criticom. That game was awful. Oh my god.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go right ahead.
So Tekken, right? Tekken's what's Tekken translate to?
King of the Iron
King
Fist
of Iron
tournament.
Fist.
Right. What else? What other fighting game had Iron Fist in it? And I don't mean the Marvel dude. I mean in the title.
Iron and Blood, AD&D.
Nope.
It rings a
Phone a
bell.
friend.
So y'all know about wars, right? You know the concept of wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all remember Star Wars?
Masters of Terraskasi.
Terakazi? Yeah.
Okay. Fun fact about this one. So originally there was a pitch to Lucasfilm or LucasArts from Capcom where they wanted to make a Star Wars fighting game, and LucasArts was like, no. That's how we got the original Star Gladiator on PS1. So LucasArts made their own fighting game, and it was awful. It was one of the worst.
I remember a friend bringing that home from a Blockbuster video in 1990, whatever. And as someone who, like, you know, at the time liked the Star Wars, now I'm kind of indifferent to Star
Same.
Wars for the fan base, and I mean both sides of that fandom.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to blame the Chuds, and the Chuds are awful, but like there are a lot of people who like are obnoxious about Star Wars in ways that I find off-putting.
Right.
Terakazi sucks ass. Like it is legit awful. Boba Fett's missile that can hit you 5 years away from the zip code next zip code over. Just like broken. I think that may be the worst fighting game I played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an awful. I will admit that was an awful fighting game for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of games that have a fighting game in it? And by that I mean, Ashura's Wrath had you fight Ryu at some point.
Yeah.
Assure's Wrath is not a video game. It is an experience starring Liam
my
O'Brien.
favorite experience, this is going to be a deep cut for some people, but the game for PS2 called Fugitive Hunter, where once you found Osama bin Laden, you had to fight him in a one-on-one fighting game with energy bars and everything.
No way.
Every terrorist you found in that game, you couldn't just capture. You had to fight them Street Fighter style in order to capture them.
What?
Well, isn't that kind of like I guess it's really adjacent to Yakuza, because like there's virtual fighters in some of those Yakuza games, aren't there? Or like a Dragon Ball, right?
I mean, you can go to the arcades and play them.
But this one blatantly went from like a first person, and suddenly you had third person, and their main selling point on the back of the box was you get to fight Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
Capture him.
Not as crazy as that, but that sounds like the fighting game mode in Enter the Matrix.
I was just about to bring that up.
Xbox. Yeah.
I was just about to bring that up.
Because I was a fan of when they took a concept like that and made it a fighting game. Like I thought, if I'm getting the title right, for the Wii, the Star Wars lightsaber duels, where they would talk and have like confrontations. I thought that was brilliantly done because it felt like Clone Wars. Like you were playing through an episode.
Yeah. Like I was just about to, I find it funny you brought that up. I was just about to bring that up, like the Enter the Matrix fighting mode. It wasn't great, but it's there. It existed.
It is there.
As a trans woman, I must respect all Matrix material, given like the impact of the culture. That being said, this past week was Frost Fatales, the GDQ all femme and MB leaning charity runs.
Yeah.
Someone did Enter the Matrix run, but the characters are modded as a car, and I just have incredible run. Look it up. It should be on like the VODs or that's the one. That's the one. But like I was like, man, I need to. Yeah.
Hudson Soft.
Yeah, buddy.
Even says right here you'll fight them.
No, Encore. I thought it was Hudson for a sec. I was about to say, but that was Hudson Soft.
I think Hudson Soft was like fully in Square.
This was Encore and Black Ops Interactive.
Black Ops Interactive, home of I'm just gonna go off to the side. Hey, Shellshock.
Huh?
What did they make? What the fuck at Encore? I kind of hurt myself in a corner. What did they make?
Fuck. I
Hunt the
forgot.
world's most wanted fugitives, even Osama bin Laden.
That's
Oh my god.
man. Post 9/11 was certainly a time. On one hand, you got My Chemical Romance.
We did.
On the other hand, yeah, Fugitive Hunter. Where
I-
you
Like they're
2D
advertising, and that's a guest character or something.
That's a,
Can you imagine like the Smash reveal?
like I did. I actually. The thing is, until tonight, I actually had no idea that game even existed. Wow. Holy shit.
That's unhinged.
I remember that sitting on like I
Holy
used to work
fucking
at
shit.
GameStop in Park Slope, I can say, because it doesn't exist anymore. And like sometimes you walk in there and you stock the shelves and like, who the fuck's buying Fugitive Hunter? Like that's going straight to the $20 bin. And then you open up Game Informer, it's being like, yeah, this is the fighting game with Bin Laden, and it's like, I'm going on my lunch break. Like I don't
yeah.
want someone's gonna read this and then I have to deal with that.
So now the next thing I want to ask you guys. I'll start with Christy for this one.
Hell yeah.
So the question now is, do you play fighting games competitively or casually? And in your opinion, what sets both apart?
I guess now I can say I'm mostly a casual. I'm not gonna lie, mostly a casual girl, just because like the joy I have in fighting games for the most part is just sitting in the room with somebody, shit talking each other and fighting.
Yeah.
And I realize that's how grandma plays fighting games. But that's how I was raised. Like you talk shit in the arcade, you're gonna lose. That's like you either back it up or you're getting your ass kicked afterwards. Like shout out the Chinatown Fair. If you fucking shat talk a god at Chinatown Fair, you were getting bodied. If you mouth off the wrong person at Chinatown Fair, you're getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
There's no in between that. So like again, I was casual just because I also just didn't like want to put in the time. Like it's like partially just like laziness and just like I not to like fucking like brag. I'm engaged. I have a live with my partner. Don't have the time to really like play fighting games like competitively. 2x is that difference. There's something about like one, it's bare bones, right? There's like versus this casual, there's versus there's some trading stuff. That's it. But again, going back to the gender of it all. So I would say 90% of most fighting games I play casually for fun. But like when Soul Cal 4 dropped on Xbox Live, I was a monster. I was on there just like running shit. Keelix, anyway, if you use Yoda, I'd hunt you down for sport. Like when I get into a fighting game, it becomes personal because it's either I go online like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I was hot in that game for about 30 seconds, and then people learned how to play it, and then Christy stopped playing that game online because Wesker, Virgil, Doctor Doom, and then like health bar goes burr, right?
Right.
Whereas like a Soul Cal. Oh, fucking hell, man! Like, I as a girl who really likes Resident Evil, I have so many biases against Wesker from games that aren't Resident Evils, mostly Marvel and Dead by Daylight. But
Oh yeah, Dead by Daylight.
I love DVD, but fuck Wesker and fuck Wesker Banes. I use Jill, so obviously I have issues. Shout out to Jill Valentine, one of the best. But yeah, no, it's 90% casual. That 10% though, when I get into a fighting game, I'm like Tekken 7. I had like 300 hours in because I was a filthy Noxus main because what is Noxus but a Soul Calibur game, a character in a Tekken, and I was like, oh, sword, that's different. I understand how this works now. Where it's like, yeah, can you do like a rolling death cradle? I was like, what? Do you want to fry with that? Like, I don't know what that is. But yeah, it's like the games I get into, I get into, and like 2X is example of that.
Yep.
There's no wrong way of playing fighting games. Unless you cheat, then fuck you. But like, yeah, I lean more casual more often than not.
Yep. Oh, that's fair. That's good. Steve.
I would say I'm probably about 99% casual. Just because growing up, I would play all the different fighting games before online was a thing. So I'd be playing it with friends, and it was just easier to just, I don't know, funnily enough, like just like have jabs at each other with rivalries. Shout outs to playing Guilty Gear Xrd and doing Potemkin versus Faust fights with my friend. Or doing Team Psycho Soldier during versus Team King and all the King of Fighters. It was kind of like a tradition after a time, but after that, it's kind of like first person shooters. When people found the meta that worked for them, it kind of hurt me in the competitive scene. Like I would try to play against people I've never met before, but they'd be so stuck on one character and just play that character, and I'd be like, this is a really bad mismatch. Like I'm new and they're like totally into Zangief and like Street Fighter 6. So I'm like, I'm just trying to learn and enjoy Manon, and you're not making it, a pleasant experience. So I was just like, it's all casual
Manon.
from here on out.
Yeah,
Love Manon.
same. I just need to get better with her. Menitta?
So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I've been to tournaments. I've been to Evo. I've been to local tournaments. I'm not amazing at fighting games, but I do like to, I want to get better. Anytime I play a fighting game, I want to increase that rank, increase that skill, because I think that's the best part about fighting games. It's always getting better.
Yeah.
But I also agree. It's like there's a vibe to just. It's like, hey, let's hop on Discord. Let's play whatever random fighting game we can find on Fightcade or Steam or whatever. And like, it's fun. Like you can enjoy like any way you enjoy fighting games. Again, unlike you're cheating, but you could enjoy fighting games anyway. You could be you don't need to be super hardcore to enjoy fighting games. And I think that's super important to emphasize. It is a genre that can reach anyone, and I think that's really, really important.
Yep. Barry?
I play rank, but I'm mostly a casual player. However, there is a regional that's happening in June called DIY. Hope to see you there, maybe?
Where is that?
In OS. It's gonna be at OS.
Oh, okay. Hype.
Yeah.
So it'll be my first regional. I'll be competing in Strive and Street Fighter 6.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
But I definitely enjoy the casual aspect. As I mentioned earlier at the podcast, I do run an event called Scrub Down Sunday. Like at first, it was just me and my friends, just shooting the breeze. But then a few people came in, so it's like, oh, okay, we'll do this on a Sunday. Not sure every Sunday, but it'll happen on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And got a little community going on,
I think
that's
that's
cool.
the best thing about fighting games is when all your friends are in the same games and just
Yeah.
kind of just like play that. Like again, Tekken 7 is a game I have a complicated relationship with. Not like anything like morally, just like complicated. But like that was our COVID game. That was the game every like I used to be part of. I'm just loosely affiliated with this group of streamers called New York Stock Exchange. And when early COVID, we were running Tekken like 3 nights a week, and like some of us going on like started playing ranked and whatnot. Some of us kind of like fucked around, found out. But like it was fun because it was, I would say like 6% of us never touched Tekken seriously. Like I was, it was mostly just like Street Fighters. Like my buddy Ray, he cut his teeth on KOF, so he was an Iori main, whatnot. So we all got into Tekken 7. It's that fucking Dragon Ball competitive like shonen bullshit with the Goku Vegetas or My Hero, your Bakugos and Dekus, where it's like you want to fight each other, you want to get better and like play off that energy, and like when it pops off, it's the hottest shit, right? Like you can't get that with a shooter or other competitive game. I'm blanking on because I'm like when I play like Dead by Daylight, that's not really anyway.
League of Legends.
It also just
Listen,
What happened, Barry?
I love My Arcane. There is a set amount of money you would have to pay me to reinstall League, and it is not a double or single digit number. It is quite large because fuck League.
Yeah, but go ahead, Barry.
It also breaks down the barrier, because like when you play against a high rank player, you kind of get intimidated, like, oh, am I gonna give them the best challenge, or are they gonna steamroll me? But when you're in a casual setting, it kind of just gets rid of that divide, and you learn, and occasionally the person you're fighting, hopefully they'll give you tips on how to beat their character. If not, you're just gonna have to figure it out, which is also a pretty fun challenge in and of itself.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the great thing about playing ranked now, because at least with like Street Fighter 6 and 2X, you go into ranked, you're usually playing players on your level. So like, assuming you're not playing with an asshole, which I'm not going to say there aren't assholes in fighting games because there absolutely are. But like you get a good set in. Like I was playing 2X recently. I forgot. Oh, so yesterday, and the guy's name was Average 40-year-old, which incredible handle. But they were like a I want to God, I'm blanking. I want to say Echo Caitlyn main, and they were fun. Like we took the set, but like it was fun, and like it's cool when you're just like you meet people like I have a Discord just for femmes and trans women to learn 2X, just because like. I'm sure Barry could speak on this. Like queer spaces in fighting games, like it's kind of like there's some assholes in it, right? Like let's be real. Like a lot of people, the minute you find out you're not like a cis white dude or just like a cis dude in general, they will be assholes to you.
Yeah.
And I if you want to learn, you need an environment that's going to be nurturing and like they're gonna have a good time and like. Yeah, that's
God
just, like,
forbid women play fighting games.
Well, to be fair, woke has ruined video games. We cannot stress how much woke has ruined video games.
Yeah.
But that's why we have bad games. That's why all games are bad now. Because
I think we need to bring woke back. Actually, we need to bring it back.
Listen, woke 2 is listen. I see how New York City votes. Woke 2 is in full effect,
Yes.
and I am here for it.
Yes.
I love woke 2.
Same.
I think it depends on how you were raised with fighting games. I don't know if Christy can speak to this as well, but at least for me, like the way fighting games are introduced, you were playing in the arcade, and if somebody wanted to get you off that machine, they put a quarter up, they played you next, and they were like, "Okay, get this scrub off the machine."
Yeah, right. Yeah, God, it's aging myself. It's wild going from the comic shops in Staten Island. Shout out to Jim Hanley's Universe, you're still there, and like playing. They're still there in Staten Island. That's where the OG. Yeah,
I missed the one that was in Manhattan.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that was like my first comic shop, and I love Jim Hanley's, but life in Midtown has that game on lock. Which shout out to Midtown Comics, but also man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in Jim Hanley's playing like Street Fighter or MVC1 to go into Chinatown, where I said earlier, like you're gonna lose. Like one way or another, someone's gonna be. It's either gonna be a god in training or just someone who has your number, and like you have to, accept that. It's either you leave or you just get good.
Yeah. Console versions of fighting games made casual so much easier because you could change the level. Arcades would have the level set at like 4 usually, which for many people just meant like you're gonna get to the third character and then you're gonna get bodied.
Yep.
And if there was a tournament, forget about it. If the game was popular, there'd be a line behind you of people with their quarter getting put up. So that kind of hurt the competitive scene for me, and it helped when it became more casual, where I could play at home. I could set the time limit to infinite,
you could learn combos and whatnot.
I could set it lower. I could play with friends. I could be like, hold back. Let me try to get this move out, and that's I think what made me just prefer casual overall is then just having that camaraderie over that, where I was just like, I'm playing to have fun. I'm not playing to win.
Yeah,
it's cool when I win, sure.
Yeah, well, he's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
That reminds me, the whole like, I want to get you off this cab. That reminds me of at MagFest in Washington D.C. near.
Shout out to MagFest,
the best every year.
I stopped going just because life happens, but I have so many fun degenerate memories at MagFest, and MagFest is so good.
There was a 1 year I was looking at the Persona 4 Arena Ultimax cabs.
Okay.
And I saw there was some people around it, and I got in line and I got matched up with an Akihiko who had a 12 win streak.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh man, all right, I gotta be on my A game here. I won. I ruined a win streak.
Hell yeah.
And then I just kind of was like, who did I play? Someone that's like famous, or did it someone who's good? Like I looked up, and then I see Wooly from
oh my
Wooly
god,
the villain of Versus Wolves. Yeah,
the villain of Versus Wolves. And like he knows who I am, so he looked at me and was like, "You motherfucker!"
Okay, so I have a follow-up and a question. First, a question.
Sure.
So you've been to MagFest, you play fighting games. Do you know Magma?
I do know Magma.
See, everyone knows Magma. Magma, for all you who don't know, one of the hypest dudes you ever met. The closest you ever get to an in real life Goku. Absolute sweetheart, fighting game staple. He's a
fucking. Great.
He's done commentary and played Skullgirls at Evo. One of the nicest dudes, but like he was the reason why I met Willie at like MAG. I want to say 3 years ago. John, I knew enough from versus from Eye Patch Wolf and John's brother-in-law. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. So John has a trans family member, and so like game recognizes the game with John themselves is non-binary, so I love Eye Patch Wolf. But
No.
yeah, it's MagFest is great for that. My favorite MagFest fighting game adjacent story was I'm not sure who's familiar or who watches the wrestles, the Sport of Kings.
I've
One
heard of
year
it.
Xavier Woods was a guest at MagFest. And he cut a promo.
Yeah.
He cut a promo on Kenny Omega saying Kenny Omega could beat him in Street Fighter because it's the only game Kenny Omega plays. Which whatever. Some dude's just like,
He's
"You
Alex
play
now.
yeah." Some dude goes in the mic during the Q&A. Is like, "Oh, you play Tekken?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good at Tekken." He's just like, "Yeah, you're pretty good, but are you good?" He's like, "Well, what are you getting at?" He's just like, the guys in the audience is like, "Yeah, meet me in the arcade 8 o'clock tonight." And Xavier's like, "Bet I'm gonna make you famous." The dude was high-key amazing at Tekken and just whipped the floor what Xavier was. Like, it was not even close. Like, that dude knew what he was doing, just wanted to get that that YouTube clip.
Yep.
And, like, that match was over in, like, 3 minutes. And I was like, damn.
Well, no, I mean, you gotta give it to him. Like, if you're gonna make a claim like that, you gotta back it up.
Yeah, and, like, that's what I love about the FGC. Like, there's no, like, in person, you can't be like, oh, well, you can't, whatever, fucking, like, there's so many, like, excuses to be good at shooters, right?
Yeah.
Game bots or whatever. Fighting game, it's, that's third-party software. Oh, third party has introduced the software to there. At best, you can set up your controllers, and then at that point, it's shit off the pot.
Yeah. But yeah, real quick, going back to Barry, do you have anything else to add regarding, like, the casual versus competitive, or you got it?
I think one of the downside of playing online, since everything's like online now, is like you're playing a good set with someone and it just disconnects.
Yeah.
And you lose the person
Oh,
unless you got a replay that you could like follow their profile. But other than that, like you lose the person. It's like, oh man, I really hope they didn't think I like rage quit.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in the height of like launch Street Fighter V, I would anytime I would disconnect, because that just happened a lot with Street Fighter V. I would always message the person like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. It wasn't me. I hope we can play again sometime." Like, every time I wanted to do that.
I like it when fighting games have like a track record of who you can fight so you can match them and whatnot. But as someone who used to play fighting games on PlayStation, and like the minute you get good in a fighting game or you have a good set on, it felt like more so NetherRealm games than anything else. You get a message from PSN being like, "Oh, why you cheating? Why you spam combos?" And it's like, buddy, we're playing Injustice 2. We're not playing Dirt Strike. Like, I'm sorry, my Supergirl is better than your Deathstroke, but like it'd be like that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Like, the worst is, like, when you're about to win a match, and then, like, you have all those rage quitters, and...
I love it. I love it because I record my shit, so I can, cut promos wrestling style.
Like the most complaints I get from rage quitters are, like, a bunch of ableist and homophobic shit, and I'm, like, in my mind, like, dude, like... I just take the loss, learn from the loss, and be better. Like, I'm not the greatest in fighting games, but I try my best. I do what I can. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. That's all that matters.
Oh man, I hate bad manners in online fighting games. If they teabag you, and if they don't teabag you, they stop. So it's like if they're stopping, I'm stopping because I don't want to like hit someone.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was playing and my friend was watching me, and this guy, he just stopped. And I'm like, oh, I guess he disconnected. And my friend's like, no, he didn't disconnect. He's playing with you. Like, oh.
Yeah. I try not to be toxic in fighting games. I like to be, like, put the energy I put into it. Yesterday, we had a 2XKO set, and, like set 1, we got our asses kicked. Like, I'm not flat out, just, like, we got outplayed, whatever. Set 2 happens, round 1, we run it all perfect. Like, we don't get hit. I just run there and vie, and it's just like corner to corner, just me kicking their ass. So round 2 starts, and I just double dip that teabag. And I felt really good about doing that because their Warwick got thrown off. I backstabbed and then ran that set, and it was fun. But usually I try not to be toxic, just because I've been on the receiving end of teabags before, and it fucking sucks. But sometimes you gotta talk some shit.
Oh yeah. So regarding how I view fighting games, I play casually. I'm not really hardcore. I'm the only way I would say I'm hardcore is in terms of my knowledge of fighting games, everything about them. But in terms of actually playing hardcore, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm at a point in my life where I'm taking care of my mom. So I don't really have a lot of time to get into it. I may be home all the time, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I can spend a lot of time playing fighting games nonstop. Plus, especially since I do have other interests. But whenever I do play fighting games, I just like to have fun. I'll just hop on a stream and be like, anyone wants to play Street Fighter 6 or anything else, hop on, we could play. That's all that matters. I just want to play for fun. Same thing with Smash. I just play for fun. And then there was one time because I was hosting a chill Smash session a couple of months ago, and everything was great. Then there was this one guy who asked if he can come in and play, and we're like, sure, it's open lobby, anybody can come in. And the thing is that we play with items. We play with 4 players just to add some chaos to it. But then this guy turns out he was a sweaty tryhard doing the same fucking technical shit that you would normally see in competitive Smash. And a good buddy of mine, who, while he's competitive himself, at least he knows when the time and the place and where he is. So he knows that we're just playing for fun, just want to play casually.
Tone it down.
So he was like, okay. He had to put on competitive mode for a minute just to teach that guy a lesson most of the time, and it got to the point where that guy just did not want to take a hit, so we had to kick him out because and
it's okay. So I say this with all love in the world because the Smash Brother community, and the FGC, are always. It feels like they're always kind of odds at each other. Yeah. Just because, for some legit reasons, just some brand favorism, whatever, right? As someone who plays a lot of fighting games on Twitch, it is very much a Smash problem. Yeah. I think if you go into a Tekken lobby on Twitch or a Street Fighter lobby and you see that you kind of you see what's going on there, 9 out of 10 times people will meet your freak. SoulCal was really good at that back when people cared about SoulCal. But and so whatever it is about Smash, when I did Smash with Snark, it would be friends only. We had to know you just because the vibes are just no, we want to see Pikachu with a hammer because that's funny to us. Not here's Fox, items off, final destination, blah blah blah. And it's because if you want that super competitive Smash, you deserve that. But if the vibe isn't that, it's just little Mac versus Pichu, just respect the room, right? Read the room.
Read the room, yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, I just tend to prefer playing with my friends, and with my community, and if I'm streaming with other people, and their community is welcome too. So as long as everybody just understands where we are and what we're doing, it's all good. But for me, it's that when it comes to what's setting both of them apart is the fact that it's just the vibes, the vibes that you're at, the vibes you're in. For me, I prefer the casual vibes, just being able to just chill, just be playing these games online, especially back in the pandemic when in 2020, 2021, where it's so we can't go anywhere. Let's just play Smash, let's play whatever other games we can play. And at the end of it all, is just want to have fun. I did not want to. I don't like traveling to a completely different venue just to participate in a fighting game tournament that I paid money to participate. And even if I practice a lot and then I lose round 1, even if I practice for days, because people need to understand that you can practice, you can actually be really good at whatever fighting game you're in. There's a good chance you may not make it round 1, and that's okay because you just keep going. But at the same time, not
yeah.
everybody's like that. And for me, I can't exactly have that lifestyle. I don't have time for that. But
No, but man, like support your locals. Locals are some of the coolest shit you could in terms of fighting games. Like if you have a good local, like shout out to OS. As someone who works extensively with OS, I love that scene. I think it's great there.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I just found my locals in Jersey, and I'm eventually gonna hit those up and run shit. But like locals are so important.
yeah.
I miss the Seattle local scene so much.
As someone who did not care for Seattle before they transitioned to go back as a trans woman in Seattle, fucking Seattle's peak. Fucking love Seattle, and like that their nerd scene their queer nerd scene in that intersection is unlike anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And man, yeah, I have some friends I have a friend who out there who I think played, I want to say Tekken in the locals and has a great time, but like
Oh yeah. Let's see. But yeah, like now the next question I'll ask before we do the community questions. So Steve, we'll start with you on this one. How have fighting games shaped your taste in gaming?
I guess it kind of gave me appreciation for certain types of styles, especially with Capcom and their pixel art.
Yeah.
So it gave me a renewed appreciation for the time it would take to make the pixel ones. And so now when I see those type of games, I'm just like, I'm going to give this one a shot. It took a lot of work to put into it. And love it or leave it. But like 3D fighters, there were so many of them. Being somebody who got to play all the Naruto Clash of Ninjas and such before, and all the Wii versions of Budokai Tenkaichi, where you were actually trying to do the Kamehameha, it gave me like what I liked to see, and a lot of times it was just personality in the characters. I tended to stray sometimes from the licensed ones and stay with one that I could get behind a character, and I think that's what got me into playing games like even like Overwatch or stuff, because it's like you find a character that it's like, oh, that's perfect. I'm literally wearing like the Smash Girls shirt because it's like those were some of the characters I liked to always use, because I was just like, if I was always gonna use Princess Peach in like Super Mario Brothers 2, I was just like, oh, if she's in this, I got to try her out here too.
Yeah.
So it kind of shaped like, you know, my fandom of what I would like and what I would get into and what kind of games. So
Yeah.
it was harder to get into certain Mortal Kombats because you would just think back to the originals when things were simple, and now there's just like everybody's a robot, or everybody's got a counterpart, everybody's got a kid, and I'm just like, I just want to play it as Johnny Cage. I don't want to be Cassie Cage, or I don't want somebody else.
You lost me
like,
there.
Yeah.
niece and granddaughter and stuff. I'm just like, I don't need a family genealogy. So when it kind of got too complicated there, I would always stray back and say, okay, I still need my classics. So for me, always bringing back like a Chun-Li, a Terry, a Ryu was something that always got me into the game, because I'd be like, I'm familiar with that. And for me, that always became a good opener for me, is familiarity. So when they at least threw in a new character I knew how to play, I would play as that character, understand what made it different, and then I could get into the game more. But if it was just like all new characters, I'm just like, I need something to get me interested.
Right. Menitta.
I guess I'm honestly not 100% sure how it really impacted my taste in gaming, but I think like whenever I think back to like I always think like of the phrase, oh, it's like a fighting game, but in a way that not like is super applicable, but like I always love it when a video game will throw a boss my way that's just you. Like Metal Gear Rising, the best boss fight in that game is Jetstream Sam, because that's the rival character. And like, like Devil May Cry and all those things, but like I like that technical, that not only on the technical side but also on like the even ground 1v1 kind of vibe that a lot of games can offer. And I think that comes from fighting games. That comes from just that's kind of what I want. I want it to feel like a fighting game, even if it's not.
Yeah.
and that also extends to the technical side where I like a lot of character action games like Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden and Bayonetta. I think that like the learning all the technical aspects of fighting games has really made me appreciate that side of single player games as well.
All right, sounds good. What about you, Barry?
It definitely makes me pay more attention. Like when fighting games, you have no one to blame for yourself when you're like losing or you can't get something down. So
Right.
I try to see where I'm failing at and try to take notes to see where I can get better instead of just mashing buttons and just hoping something comes out. I definitely can appreciate the older fighting games, like the art style, the presentation. I say this a lot to my friends, but I feel like modern fighting games, they're more focused on the esports setting as opposed to like just throwing something out there and hopefully like stick. Like the fighting games in the mid 2010s were very creative from what I saw,
Yeah.
And I really wish they would like bring that back, especially with single player content.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I miss unlocking stuff in fighting games as opposed to just buying DLC and then you automatically have it.
Oh yeah, just DLC. Like you buy a game right up and like, oh, DLC will make it better in the near year and a half. Please stick with us, instead of just out the gate.
Yeah, I feel like some companies tend to do better with how they handle DLC than others. It's at the end of the day, it's supposed to be like additional content that makes you. It's like, oh, more stuff, great. Rather than like just take stuff that was originally supposed to be in the base game and you buy it for like $30 or something. But
Yeah.
It's
Street Fighter 6 is like the worst offender of it. It's a live service game inside a fighting game, if that makes any sense.
like those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles costumes.
Way too much.
yeah, skins are the whole skin like whatever is just like a fucking. It's I get it. It helps pay the bills because like the older ones like oh you want to do like how many versions of Street Fighter 2 do we get? How many versions of like like it's like oh you want Street Fighter? Well you want new characters now you buy Super Street Fighter. Oh you want a slightly different version of Street Fighter? Now it's $80 a pop. So I get like the DLC of it all. Like like Street Fighter 4 I want to say there were what 3 or 4 versions of that game. And like you couldn't just buy the DLC, you had to like buy a whole new game.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then literally before a year was
5
up,
months later, Ultimate comes out. They're
Marvel
like,
vs. Capcom 3, and you're like, wait a minute.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, and like, I mean, like, I don't mind a season pass, like, if it's gonna be like, hey, this is like, I think it's Smash Ultimate and Street Fighter 6 or what all the predatory stuff aside with Street Fighter. It's like, hey, this is the only one of these we're doing a generation. $30 a year will get you the the characters you need and some shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fine. Whatever. Like I think Tekken does it too. I think. When it gets me, it's just like okay, you get the season. Here's $30. You get a season pass, and then maybe you unlock the characters. But if you have to do it within this X amount of time, otherwise you spend like 2X's like that, and it drives me insane. But Riot's gonna riot, and I hate like giving the excuse. But,
Yep.
Again, going back to the arcade and Christie of it all. The super gay Pit Fighter Vi skin, you can't buy that by itself. You have to spend, and this is not an exaggeration, $100 for a bundle that gets you 3 skins and some other shit. $100. Are you kidding me, Riot? Like suck my dick. Like like I want that skin, but I am not giving you $100 for that. Like if you want to sell me a physical game, $60 with a bunch of DLC, sure, we'll have that talk. $100 for a digital only thing? Fuck out of here. Nah.
Yeah.
Or worse, it's you gotta get it now or you'll never get it again. I got Street Fighter 6 the year 1 and 2, and I missed out on a lot of EX colors.
Oh
For
yeah.
free
Yeah.
Because I got it late.
Yeah, no, like
it was really bad for even multiverses because they just made some some playtime to unlock them just almost unattainable. Agent Smith was near impossible to get normally. Almost
yeah.
everybody had to pay for him, and
Yeah.
when you saw somebody you played online against with that character, you're just like, okay, that person probably either has the gold plated name, which means they were in the first beta, and bought the founders pack, or they paid to get that character. It got easier where at least they made like a story mode. So I appreciate that they did that, because in the beginning I was just like, you're limiting how much time I have before this character's gone forever and I can't get that character.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, we can't sell it, the skin either. Skin's a one-time only.
Isn't FOMO great?
I think it's only good when it's the story is like, or the lore is so rich that's what gets you to get the game.
But
not good when it's just like, this character is about to leave.
Yeah.
I'm I'll admit I played Zenless Zone Zero to like hundreds of hours.
Me too.
They've gotten a lot better in it, and they're even releasing a physical edition this month. So this year. But they did one time where they gave a character 1 week, 2 characters 1 week, and I was just like, 1 week? You usually give us a month. So now you're just waiting to see if they bring that character back, and I was just like, in a gacha game, I guess that's kind of expected, but I just never had it shortened like that. And I was just like, usually when you guys have a like a roadmap, it's always the same. This time they were like, no, we're shortening it to like a 1 week window. And I was like, this is horrible, guys. Like, and of course the forums were exploding, saying like, if you want us to follow your roadmap, especially when it comes to additional content, you have to give us the same amount of time, either to earn it, be it one way by playing the game a lot, or actually buying into your currency. But to shorten it just to see if they could get like a free boost, like Fortnite asking for more money for their V-Bucks now, it's just like, come on.
Hey, it costs a lot of money to make shitty AI voices in Fortnite. You have to be nice to Epic.
Yeah.
Poor struggling little indie Epic.
No.
Like, no $1 million investment by Disney. Like, listen, it costs a lot of money to get the right to those Air Jordan skins so Rick and Morty could hit the gritty, okay? I think you're being very inconsiderate. You should apologize to the multinational company. Like, poor struggling. Yeah.
It just kind of reminds me, is like how like where like these companies tend to like when they realize like they need to make more money for something, and then it turns out it's like, oh, we're doing well, we're making so much money. I think I know what's the best way to reward all of our staff. We're going to terminate a lot of their jobs. The thing is,
I have so many opinions about the modern corporate world and modern gaming, and how much of these injuries are self-inflicted by money men. Again, have me back. We'll have a fun little journey into capitalism.
And fighting games like are not immune to this either.
Oh no.
Like that's the unfortunate part.
It's the AAA spaces in general, just like tech in general is just like, what's that Star Wars line? Richard's hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, we absolutely. We need more indie fighters. I feel like there needs to be more indie fighters.
Listen, I love indie games, but the problem with that is like that requires the capital, right? Like, it's a lot of money to pay the bills, and I would love a rise of indie fighters. Like you have your Hades and whatnot, but like it's expensive, so you kind of need like your Capcoms and your
I've tried supporting those whenever they come up. Like just off the bat, I've gotten Omen of Sorrow, Fight of Gods, Fight of Animals, especially since those are silly.
Yeah,
Pocket Bravery was great because I was like, you guys are doing pixel Neo Geo Pocket Magic, so
yeah.
You're Under Arrest. I was like, there's all these ones that are coming out of the woodwork that are trying to be a good fighting game, but I was just like, in order for you guys to thrive now, I have to support you, and I like what you're doing.
Yeah. It's also just like how many, like, fighting games are niche inherently, like more so than anything else. Like, we have, I would say 5 people here who are very passionate about fighting games, have opinions about them, but like fighting games aren't going to be doing Call of Duty numbers,
No.
Like the best-selling Mortal Kombat is probably on par with a not as well-performing Call of Duty game, and it sucks because, like, I'm sure if an indie studio had, like, a Mortal Kombat 1 budget, we would get a dope fighting game out of it. but like at best it seems like you'll get something. Again, shout out to Wooly Madden, like the community mods for Marvel 3 and 4, where like they just rehauled the games, make it look visually. That's the best we're gonna do. Or like a Skullgirls, where I believe was under Konami for a minute.
It was.
But then they split off and they're doing their own thing. But then one of the founders is a piece of shit, and that's a whole thing. But I think Skullgirls is doing okay-ish, I want to say, right? Like it's still popping off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been doing a lot better on its own ever since they got rid of the founder.
Yeah.
But yeah. But Christie, so now I'll ask you the same thing. How have fighting games shaped your taste in gaming?
So, okay. I wouldn't say it shaped my taste in gaming per se, just because like not any more so than like 90s Capcom and this is gonna be a cliche answer, those first 4 Mario games. Like that has kind of like defined my taste in gaming for the most part, just because you know, the big ones. I think though the competitive aspect is affected how I played games, because like we like, again, not to age ourselves, but like Dr. Nintendo and I grew up in an age where if you wanted to do any like sort of like competitive gaming, you had to do it face to face.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of stuff now is like you have, you know, the internet, which, you know, times whatnot. And then like I don't know about anybody else, but like I had a weird anxiety about going on. Well, once games had voice chat that weren't like, you know, and like especially as a trans woman, a lot of weird dysphoria and a lot of just like weird shit around that, right?
Yeah.
About to tell myself too much, but fighting games, like, you know, you if you're good enough at fighting game, voice doesn't matter. You could just, you know, you could win your way through any kind of weird shit. So I would say, like, you know, like Soul Cal 4, I was like the big one for me, because like I don't know if there's any voice support or like 0 voice support. But like that one, like, you know, I don't have to deal with people. So where it's like something like a game like Overwatch, which, you know, I love that first Overwatch. I have a lot of intense feelings about Overwatch. The minute you get into ranked, you better be on comms, because otherwise, if Genji's 5 years away and not calling out for heals, womp womp. And, you know, granted, there's a certain degree of privilege with voice comms and whatnot that, you know, they're talking during game. But yeah, I think playing fighting games competitively helped with a lot of where like now if I go online with a game, it doesn't matter if it's a shooter, if it's a fighting game, or if it's something like Hearthstone or even Marvel Snap, you know, it's not there.
Yeah. Like for fighting games, for me, like the way that they shaped my own personal taste in gaming is like just the aspect. It's not really the competitive aspect that did it. What did it for me was just how like you have like all these characters that come from completely different backgrounds, and you get to choose which one you like. They have a different style, different personality. That's what I really liked. But what really shaped it for me was just how one game in one series would lead to another for me, and then like I would branch out to play other games of the same genre, and I started liking them a lot. Plus, just the fact that where I was when I was a kid, like my parents would take me to arcades, or like sometimes like there would be like a movie theater with an arcade or two, or like local deli bodegas, and then like pizza places, like pizzerias, laundromats, you name it. I think the weirdest place I've ever actually been to, like to play a fighting game, it was I remember actually playing a fighting game at I'm trying to think, because I have so many weird memories regarding playing fighting games and arcade games in general. I know people talk about 7-Eleven. I've never actually seen an arcade machine at 7-Eleven. No. Maybe it probably might have been in a different state, just not where I was at. Not here.
Same.
But I've actually played one. There was like one of those like shops that have like those scented candles and like rosaries and all that stuff. I found an arcade machine that had a fighting game on that, and it was a Neo Geo machine when I was a kid. And the fighting game that I remember playing on that was World Heroes. Which is very obscure, very fun.
Yeah, that's
But-
one you don't hear too often.
No,
World
that's an SK
Heroes.
joint, right?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, like,
Okay. Yeah.
and I found weird fighting. It's like I used to go to video stores that had arcade machines. I played Mortal Kombat there, and then there was a different one that had Vampire Savior, which I believe was for a long time was the only time I've seen that game in the arcades until Chinatown Fair. When I went there, Chinatown Fair had everything. Because I started going to Chinatown Fair when I was in college, and when I went, like, because my brother at the time was highly into DDR, he kept playing DDR nonstop, so I would go with him, mainly because while he was playing DDR, I was going to play some fighting games. And they even had Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, and I remember just playing it, and then there was this one guy that just came in, dropped a quarter, and he destroyed me. Like, he knew everything, like how to do all the chain combos and everything, and like, yeah. It was also the first time I've ever heard of like the Rumblefish. I never knew what it was until I went there.
Man, Rumblefish.
The Rumblefish.
Yes.
That game always looked cooler than it played.
Yeah.
That is a
Oh,
cool
see,
game. All the character designs are so slick.
I want to say Rage of the Dragon, the weird double dragon fighting game. That
Yeah.
was not particularly good, but had some dope redesigns for characters.
I've seen Arcana Heart there. I've seen the most obscure stuff, like when it comes to fighting games or like games from other genres for arcades. But in the context of fighting games, they have the usual suspects. They had Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, CBS 2, I've seen that, King of Fighters 98, Alpha 2 and 3. I've seen like pretty much any fighting game that was popular in like the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. There was a very good chance you were going to see it. And then I remember in 2008 they had the Japanese arcade machine for Street Fighter 4, which came out there around that time. And
Yeah.
Was that before the console port?
yes, it was before. It was 2008.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Because at the time, the only characters that were playable were like the original 12 from Street Fighter 2, plus you had Abel, El Fuerte, Rufus, Crimson Viper, and that's it. You only had those characters that you could play as, because the rest of the characters were console only.
Didn't that machine end up going to Brooklyn after like Chinatown Fair originally died, and then like there's a place in Sunset Park now that kind of took over for OG Chinatown Fair?
It did, yeah. Like I remember,
Yeah.
I remember Next Level Games. That was
Yeah.
that was the one that, because some of those people who worked there or were affiliated with Chinatown Fair went there. I've been there a few times. Because some of the people who did stuff there, like there was a YouTube and Twitch channel, Team Spooky. They were there. They would record like videos and live streams of tournaments that were going on. Like they just at first they started with fighting games, and then they started branching out to doing card games like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh. They would, and then like I would start seeing so many different places. Like I'm gonna bring up a name that I remember going to play like fighting games locally, like in like console fighting games. They haven't been around since 2008, but it was called Neutral Grounds.
Oh my god, Neutral Grounds.
Yeah, you remember that too. Yeah, I used to They had one location downtown, like in like 28th Street, and then they moved to like a different location, which they were only there for a year because the problem is New York lease was really high and it was way too stupid high.
Turns out New York City very expensive.
So you have to have a lot of money if you want to thrive. But that was actually partially why like the old Chinatown Fair died. Like the new one is nowhere near as good as how it is now.
I've walked by there. I've never set foot in there just because like it's not looks like you going out there, getting your ass kicked in Street Fighter 2, going outside, sharing a pack of cigarettes, and listening to some dude being like, "Who was the best character in a fighting game?" Again, terribly wrong opinion, like garbage opinion, I argue. But like I admit, I respect the passion behind that very, very wrong and terrible opinion.
Right. The one I will say, the one good thing about that area, like the best thing about that area in Chinatown for me, which I'm happy it's still there to this day. There's a ramen shop right next to the Chinatown Fair. I just ramen. I love going there. That's my go-to ramen place.
Chinatown in general is just like a weird, not weird. It's such a unique cultural place, right? Because like the FGC gods have all passed through Chinatown Fair, right? And now, like, it's a weird legacy. Like Chinatown Fair isn't what it was, right? But OS is right there. There was God, was it Waypoint? Was the other like land cafe thing?
Yeah,
And
I know Waypoint. Yeah,
yeah, I know they're not there anymore because like leasing and they're moving. I think they're moving. I forget.
They might still be moving.
Yeah, I know there's not their location anymore, but now all these like gacha shops and like other like anime stores are open in the area. And when I went to Chinatown back in the day, Grandma says, like there was so much like bootleg anime shops and like all that shit there.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird full circle that like like Chinatown Fair is always gonna be the cool place to play video games, and like I appreciate that it still is, especially because like for a while, especially come Go time, it wasn't.
Like I remember like going to different like events with fighting games. I actually like remember the college I went to, there was a fighting game tournament known as the KO tournament. We used to have like these like different events back then, like every year. It was usually like during spring break. It was run by the anime club within the college, and we would have like whatever was like modern at the time, like Smash Bros. Like at the time it was like when I went, it was Smash Brothers Brawl and Street Fighter 4 was there. And then I think the last time I was a part of it was when Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out. Because I know 2010 was Tatsunoko, 2011 was Marvel 3, but after that, like, after that, like, I practically just like focus more on other things. So I remember those fighting game tournaments like that. I met a lot of cool people there. I also joined the anime club there, and yeah, like so many great memories. Shout outs to my buddy Zeno, because I've known him since college. So there's that. Like let me actually just randomly give him a Twitch shout out because he's a good dude. But yeah, fighting games in general, I have so many memories in general regarding like my favorite fighting games.
We've unlocked two core memories through this talk. That shout outs to everybody in the chat who has back pain, but one of them is back when Pizza Hut used to have a salad bar and tables and booths. I would play the Neo Geo machine there. That's where I first played King of Fighters, first played World Heroes, NAM 1975. And then for anybody who liked looking at the attract modes in arcade games, say in the chat if you ever got the Mortal Kombat comic book and T-shirt because you waited for on Mortal Kombat 2 the attract mode to tell you the address and the address stamped envelope. You had to send them like $3 on like a check. I did that so I could get the comic book and T-shirt because I was just like, wait, they do this stuff? So
they did. They did do that, and by the time that like I found out about that, it was already too late because like the window of when you can get it was already expired. But I do remember that stuff, like how like you can get that just to be able to read the lore of like these characters. Like you want to know like just why are they fighting? What's the reason? Give me a good reason why to get into them. But yeah. Anyway, so community questions. We got a couple.
Okay.
Starting with Nova the Artist. We are in the era where we're getting licensed fighting games more often. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, Invincible versus Avatar Legends, the fighting games, etc. What is your dream licensed fighting game and why? Well, I know we had a Ninja Turtles fighting game back in the 90s, like Tournament Fighters. I was hoping that before Tokon was a thing, I was hoping that Arc System Works was going to make a Ninja Turtles fighting game and Konami was going to publish it and it was going to be Tournament Fighters, like a new one. I would be down for that. Steve, what about you? What's your dream licensed fighting game?
I don't know. There's been so many. I guess if if it's one of those where licensing isn't an issue, and the companies themselves don't care that they would show their characters getting beat up. You know what? After a game where we got all the animals and even a senator in games like Eternal Champions for Sega CD,
Oh shit.
just give me a fighting game that's just all the cereal mascots from the very first one that appeared till now. Like, you know, I know Tony the Tiger will probably be OP because he's probably the biggest mascot, but just to see them all in a fighting capacity would be something. Even if you wanted to use them as stands instead and take a page out of JoJo, give me that. Make it that the characters are kind of nondescript, like their usual, like, you know, you can name them yourself or create your own character, but all your stands and all your assists are serial mascots. Like, that would be the ultimate for me, because I feel at this point like they've kind of just hit the nail on everything else. Like, I've gotten all the other ones and matchups I've always wanted.
Like
General Mills All Stars.
can we just call it Breakfast of Champions?
Exactly.
That's a good one.
Be that or the Breakfast Club, right?
The Breakfast
The
Club.
Breakfast Fight Club. Breakfast
Breakfast
Fight
Fight Club.
Yeah, there you go.
The Breakfast Club would be the season pass.
Yeah. Menitta?
So that's tough. Like Steve said, like we've kind of gotten a lot of really like never gonna happen like licensed games, but I guess like this is kind of a boring answer, but it's kind of all I can really think of at the moment. I know that we have a lot of Gundam fighting games, like the Gundam Extreme Versus, those games. They're amazing. I love those games, but I would love another 2D Gundam fighting game like the Gundam Wing game on Super Nintendo or Super Famicom rather.
Yeah.
I would love another one of those, because like that game is awesome, and I think that like playing as a Gundam in like a Street Fighter style game is super fun. Like a modern version of that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. Barry,
Duel, yeah.
what about you, Barry? What is a licensed fighting game you would love to see?
Whatever fighting game would put Hatsune Miku in, I will be 100% on board. I'll buy the game. I'll buy the game twice over, all the DLC, everything, just to have Hatsune Miku in a fighter.
Put Hatsune Miku,
Awesome.
creator of Minecraft, into Virtual Fighter. Sega, you could do it.
Yeah.
Sega can do it.
Sega,
True.
you could do it.
like if you could put Minecraft Steve in Smash, anything can happen at this point.
Right.
I'm still waiting for Miku to join Smash 6, maybe. Hopefully.
Maybe.
I know we have Idol Showdown, but I would have loved to see like a fighting game with the Love Live, Idol Master, Bang Dream Girls. I know someone was making like a fan game, but
I'm sorry,
a
Bang
long time
Train?
ago. Bang Dream
Oh.
Girls Fan Party.
That's also a questionable name. I was like, wait, what?
It's like a whole bunch of like idol and girl band groups just in a fighting game. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, if there's anyone out there that was willing to put Hatsune Miku in the game, I will support them. Day one, 100%.
Yeah. Chrissy?
Obviously, Star Wars Master of Terrakai 2. I think we're overdoing. No, joking. No, actually, like I was struggling for that one. It dawned on me. My favorite manga is Berserk, and Berserk has gotten a lot of games of various quality. But what I want is Project Soul Cal to do a Berserk game, because a weapon-based Berserk game. But yeah, because you can't make that like. I would love a 2D fighter, it would never work. A Soul Calibur inspired Berserk game, sign me the fuck up. Like that's all I want. I don't care if it's like a 10-man roster. Like Berserk is absolutely one of the greatest mangas of our time. It's a shame it ended the way it did, and you know I know this new chapter, so we don't talk about that. But no, give me Berserk as a fighting game. And also, like, I don't get why we haven't got one yet.
You know what? I got one more. Animation domination. So we have Simpsons, King of the Hill, Family Guy, American Dad, The Cleveland Show, Bob's Burgers, all of that in a fighting game. Like, and who would make the game? Bandai Namco. And it runs, and it's basically the same. It's basically Tekken Tag Tournament, but with all those characters.
I can't believe you invented Fortnite too. But my other joke was like, I can't believe you invented Simpson Wrestling too. But I'm sure like 2 people know what that game is.
Simpsons
Which
Wrestling.
piece of shit game, Simpsons Wrestling.
It's awful. It's awful. So next up is from Dragonflame. What is the fighting game you're best at, and which one are you the worst at, and why? Best at? That's debatable. Like I do enjoy playing Third Strike a whole bunch. And I will say though that for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it used to be a lot better. I wasn't great, but I used to be a lot better back in the day compared to how I am now. Mainly because like trying to adjust in playing it in a more modern setting is something that I need to do. But yeah, like in terms of fighting games that I'm the worst at, I mean, do bad games count? No, but in reality, like it's debatable. Really, it's really hard for me to say what I'm the worst at. So that one, I can only answer the first part of the question, but not so much of the second. Steve.
I'm gonna start with the worst because 1, I don't have a main, and 2, I could never get behind how some of the combos or the throws were done, and that's all of Tekken. I could never get behind the left-right punch, left-right kick system. I still collect them. I still like the characters, but it's just I don't know what I'm doing, and unlike Virtual Fighter, the combos don't come naturally. It's like I can't do anything with it. As for the best ones, this is just personal opinion, so nobody call me out and take me to an arcade at 8 p.m. But it would be the Guilty Gear series with Venom. Whenever Venom's announced, he's my main. He'll always be my main. It used to be Potemkin when I would just fight my friend who would always pick Faust, but now it's just Venom. So I'm so glad to see him come out and strive. And then other than that, it would be Smash Ultimate. Shout outs to Duck Hunt Dog.
I like Duck Hunt Dog.
Curious, man. Curious.
Menitta.
I guess I'll start with best. Probably Street Fighter 6, just because like I got to platinum with my Cammy. And like I said, I did not go 0-2 at Evo, so I'll take that dub. But it's probably what I'm best at. I also want to say Pokken Tournament because when Wooly did that and Get Into Fighting Games, shout out. I managed to get a perfect on him, so
Ooh.
I'll take that dub as well.
You managed to beat the villain. Got it.
As for worst though, easily King of Fighters. I'm sure I'm worse in other fighting games that are like that I just don't really play all that much, but like of the ones that I've actually like tried to learn, I am so bad at King of Fighters. Like the way that those combos are and strings together, I just can't wrap my head around like the execution. They're really, really difficult games.
Yeah.
A Garou I managed, but like not with like 2002 and 98. I struggle for sure.
Yeah, and I'll say right now, like I've actually realized what my worst is. It's Dead or Alive. Like no matter how hard I try, it just doesn't work for me.
DOA is hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's complicated for sure.
Like Virtual Fighter is a lot easier for me than DOA. But what about you, Barry? Best and worst in terms of how good you are in each.
My best would be Strive, though I've never made Vanquisher. I'm still stuck in Platinum 2, like stuck within a plateau. Definitely Street Fighter has been a challenge for me with the 6 buttons.
Yeah.
And parrying and drive, impact and drive rush. I want to say that I'm pretty decent, but my worst struggle is that I plateau very quickly.
Yeah.
And my fault is that I burn out mentally too quickly. Like I don't think I could do a long set.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That is fair.
I'm trying though.
You don't want to get into that loop of like, I just gotta end on a win, and then no
Yeah.
one's happy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have the mindset of they're trapped here with me, not the other way around. But I think I kind of confused myself. Like, oh my
the
god, I'm
Rorschach scenario.
trapped here
Yeah.
for 99 seconds. And that's a really long time. Trying to like block and attack. It really does stuff to your mental. Like you really have to
Oh yeah.
be focused, you know?
Christy?
Okay, so best easily it's 2X or SoulCal 4, just because I played a ton of SoulCal 4 back in the day on the 360.
Yeah.
And 2X is this is the most I felt confident in a fighting game in a long time. Worse, I'm an old, as we established this. It's going to be Killer Instinct, a game that I don't know if I ever won a match in those games, because I only played on the N64. I didn't have an N64, so my friends would repeatedly beat my ass in that. I also couldn't find a main. And Primal Rage was absolute dog shit at those games. Yeah, so I think it's those two. Yeah, I know everyone's talking about Primal Rage these days, right? We're all any day now. E3, Jeff Keighley's gonna announce Primal Rage 2, 3. I don't know how many of those games they made, but yeah.
Well, funny enough, like, when I think about Primal Rage, I think that the only good version of Primal Rage is like the arcade, because the console ports just don't work.
I've
that
only
well.
played the arcade version because the bowling alley had traditionally 3 arcade cabinets and a pinball machine. So like it was like MK, like every Capcom fighting game, I want to say up to the Versus stuff, and then like Primal Rage was there, and we're just like, I'm gonna go to a different bowling alley.
Yeah. Professor Icepick asks, with the impending death of Tekken after Harada's departure from Bandai Namco, which I don't agree with that part, do you think that the upcoming new Virtua Fighter project will spark a second renaissance of 3D fighting games in the same way that Street Fighter 4 revitalized the 2D market? Again, I do not agree with the fact that Tekken is going to die all because of Harada leaving. I do think that there's going to be somebody that's going to take over. Now, whether if the quality will go up or down remains to be seen. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But to answer the question, I need to see more of the new Virtua Fighter project that's coming out before I make a decision. Because I will say this, it looks fantastic. But I'm not really too thrilled about RGG Studio right now after what happened with Yakuza Kiwami 3, the debacle on that. Yeah, so I hope that they actually make this one good, but I need to see more. Steve.
Yeah, I also don't agree with the first part either. I think he was instrumental in some things, but eventually, as in we've seen with even people like Miyamoto and Ono, they're not instrumental in keeping the series alive. They've injected some new things. They've injected creativity. They've injected magic into some of our favorite games. But I think he was more like a figurehead after a while. But even when people asked for stuff, even like Waffle House, he's just like, I'll try. But he's not the ultimate guy who does that. So, I think Virtua Fighter's in a good place. I'm glad Sega's, after they tried to trick us with that big super game that they were making with all their old IPs that we haven't heard anything about ever since Shinobi.
Except for Shinobi, yeah.
Except for Shinobi.
Yeah. What, Crazy Taxi was one of them, right?
Jet Set Radio.
I'm ready to hear that Crazy Taxi is a live service multiplayer game because the last footage they showed police cars. But anyway, beside that, I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of their marketing practices with RGG, but I do like all of their fighting styles and how they kind of flow together. And seeing the last, I guess if we can call it that, playable footage that we saw when Kira was fighting Jackie. That looked really well. I could see some new mechanics in there that made it more than just a Virtua Fighter remastered. So I have high hopes for it, but the lack of of more gameplay that we're seeing more of just character intros saying like, hey, look at this person coming back, but we're not going to see any footage of them fighting. Has me somewhat worried.
Yeah. Menitta.
So, like everyone said, like, yeah, like I don't agree with the Tekken's going to die because Harada, he's been a figurehead for the most part. He's been like, he's not the creative director on like Tekken 7 or 8 or like, I don't remember when he kind of took a step back, but it hasn't been only him as of late. As for Virtua Fighter, I actually do kind of think that it might like just on the virtue of a new Virtua Fighter, I actually do think that it's going to bring a lot of life to 3D fighting games more than continuing with Tekken and the last Soul Calibur we got
It was like 6.
Excuse me, sorry, the last Soul Calibur was 6 in 2018. A lot of the talk behind Virtua Fighter is very, very positive. A lot of devs really, really like Virtua Fighter. Like I think that is going to do fairly well. And,
Yeah.
I'm a longtime Yakuza fan. I have a lot of thoughts on Kiwami 3, but I do think that like what we know about what happened with that game, it was mostly outsourced. A lot of the core staff at RGG are working on Virtua Fighter and Stranger Than Heaven. So I do kind of have some more faith that like it'll be a quality product, at least more than Kiwami 3 was.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm fairly positive on Virtua Fighter 6. I don't know if it's going to be like Street Fighter 4 was for 2D games, but I have a positive outlook for sure.
Okay. What about you, Barry? What do you think about that?
I don't think Tekken's dying anytime soon. And I'm not familiar with Virtua Fighter, but I can't say that Konami's announcement of Dead or Alive 6 last round and a new Dead or Alive makes like new way for new 3D fighters.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to say.
Yeah. Christie?
Yeah, agreed about the Tekken of it all. I don't think Tekken is going to go anywhere. I think Tekken 8 sold well enough, and that game continues to do. It has such a large international grip that Tekken's not going anywhere. Like I'm sure, like it's Tekken 9 when that's announced in next generation or whatever, it's not going to hit the same. But I think Tekken is, it's like Street Fighter. It's just like it's at this point now. Is Virtual Fighter going to bring a new wave of 3D fighters? Even if it's good, because like I've only fucked with a few Virtual Fighters. It's never been like my thing. I don't think that's the franchise that's going to get 3D fighters back in the map. Like, fighting games are niche as hell, and it seems like any fighting game that has legs is 2D, right? Like your Street Fighters, and so like your Strives and whatnot, and then like there's a massive gap between people who play Street Fighter 6 and people who play Strive. I don't think the industry is big enough to have all these. I'm sure Dead or Alive and Virtual will do fine.
No.
I don't think it's gonna bring it back just because like we kind of had like I maybe we'll get a new Soul Calibur out of this. We've heard a few rumors here and there. Even then, I don't know how well. I heard Soul Calibur 6 didn't do as well as they were hoping. Even with the Nier and the Witcher collabs, so I could see them not wanting to fuck with that franchise. I don't think it's good. I think we're gonna have like 2 to 3 3D fighters, and that's about it. I think 2D rules the court these days. And I think we'll get a new Mortal Kombat before we get a new 3D boom.
Yeah, I'm just basically crossing my fingers on a new Soul Calibur at this point, but we'll see.
I would kill. Yeah.
My soul still burns.
Noble Boy asks, what are your top 5 fighting games of all time? Like, we kind of already answered some of that already, but long story short, we have Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is up there for me, CVS 2, Power Stone 2 is up there. Like, there's no order, it's just like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Right. Those are my 5 because I enjoy them. I have a lot of fun with them. I think those are some of the greatest fighting games ever. The thing is that there's just way too many great fighting games over the years. So much so that like I could just pop in anything and just play them. But there's quite a few of them that unfortunately, if I want them, it's either spend a lot of money to get it or emulate it, which I only ever emulate if it's the last option possible. Because I do like to own the games that I have, but it's just the fact that like, I'm gonna say this right now. There's a PS1 fighting game that I'm currently having I'm currently looking out for. The problem is when I found it, it goes for $150, and you wonder what game that is?
Sure.
Pocket Fighter.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that game. It's not my favorite fighting game, but I do have a bit of a soft spot for that one. I just find that to be fun. It's like a fighting game that just does not take itself seriously, and it doesn't need to. It's good.
Just simply get a Japanese PS1, a Japanese copy. Problem solved, right?
Yeah, it's definitely cheaper. At least I have the collection. But I'll repeat my answers for Noble Boys since like they were stuck in the ad zone. So Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Capcom vs. Instigate 2, Power Stone 2, Smash Ultimate. Those are like no order, but those are like one of my favorites. Soul Calibur 2 is definitely up there for me too. Like, yeah. Steve, your top 5?
I kind of went through it already. If I wanted to take a page out of Menitta's way, I would say, yeah, my top 5 would be Kakotu Kojin, some Kabuki Warriors, maybe some Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects, and Wu-Tang Shaolin style, but no.
I was like, what's going on here?
I see what you were doing. I see exactly what you were doing.
I heard Rise of the Imperfect and like my fight or flight response.
Rise to Resurrection? No. None of those, thank you. No, but yeah, going back, if it's stuff I actually own, it's gonna be like King of Fighters 13. It's gonna be Killer Instinct, at least the Super Nintendo version, because it came with the Killer Cut CD. Great idea to give us the music. And then it goes back to like the first Marvel vs. Capcom for Dreamcast because of the mode that no other mode has. The dramatic battle mode, as you can see, we're getting into more casual here with Street Fighter Alpha 2. But yeah, I will give proper shout outs to Soul Calibur though, because even just leaving that game on autoplay to watch the kata routines was amazing. And that had got me to fall in love with Killick. And when he wasn't in one of the Soul Caliburs, I was like, that's not Soul Calibur.
Soul 5, real piece of shit game.
Yeah.
So yeah, because most of the time it was Capcom games, but surprisingly it went all over the place, and it depended on how much time I had fun with friends, which put it at my top 5.
Yeah.
So I don't ever have like a specific order, because even Ultimate Smash Bros. Ultimate's good, but I don't know where I'd put it just yet.
Menitta.
Yeah, I Third Strike, Killer Instinct 2013, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Grand Blue, and Pokken Tournament. I think those are definitely my top 5. I'm sure Street Fighter 6 is somewhere. Same with Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
But no particular order really. But like as far as like if I wanted to have this is the top 5, I feel like that's got a good variety to it, even though there's only
it's a good one
3D game there.
Yep. Barry?
Smash 64, because I remember playing it a lot as a kid. Smash 64, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I want to change my answer from earlier. Garo is absolutely up there.
Yes.
Guilty Gear Xi Core Plus. Oh, I have one more.
Wasn't it Persona?
What happened?
Persona?
Wasn't it one of the Personas? Persona Mega Mix or?
Let me see. I said Persona 4 Ultimax, Smash 64, Agaro. Did I say something else?
Strive?
Oh, Guilty Gear Xi Core Plus.
Core, yeah.
I'll say Strive. Strive is the one that got me into playing fighting games seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll speedrun this Garus runner-up. Otherwise, 2X KO, Smash Ultimate, Alpha 3, Marvel's Capcom 2, and SoCal.
All right. And also shout outs to the following games. Balls 3D, Rise of the Robots, Kasumi Ninja. I would also say Star Wars Masters of Terraskasi, Criticom,
Ao Feng.
War Gods, Bio Freaks.
Bio
Fight this man.
Freaks. Oh my
Ban you
god.
from the next Twitch meetup already.
Shaq Fu, and the worst of the worst, Pretty Fighter.
Oh.
But has anyone ever heard of Dong Dong Never Die?
Yeah, it's a great game.
That is the GOAT, actually.
Yeah,
That is-
yeah. You better watch your
That's
mouth.
the
Dong
real-
Dong Never Dies. The best fighting game with
It
Mario.
never
in it.
dies.
Yeah, you know, there's Smash and there's Don Don Never Die.
You have to see it to believe it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
Let's
that's certainly
not
a
forget
game.
about the Kung Fu Master Jackie Chan fighting game where you
Oh,
got to
God.
have to fight
I
three
already
different
forgot about
versions
that.
of Jackie Chan too.
I already forgot the minute that sentence ended.
But if I had to think of one more that was absolutely ridiculous, more than anything else, I would probably say the NES version of Karate Champ is ass. The arcade version is better.
I was like, wow, okay, sure.
All right. Next up is from Sone, and also Epic Man, because they both answered a similar question. Which fighting game needs to make a comeback? What series or fighting game or series that deserves to have a comeback? It could be a really old game that no one has heard about or something recent. Well, if you want to bring something back that should come back right now, I was gonna say, like the easiest answer I could think of is Killer Instinct, but you know what? I'm not gonna go with Killer Instinct because that's too easy for me to say. So, I was thinking that Capcom should just bring back Power Stone, like a new one, make a new Power Stone game. The problem is that the one person that could have made Power Stone for Capcom left Capcom in 2024, Hideaki Itsuno.
Itsuno, yeah.
So I was hoping that was what he was going to make after Dragon's Dogma 2, because that's something he's been wanting to do for years. So, but yeah, Power Stone 3. Give me Power Stone 3, please. Steve?
I think Capcom should do one of their things again where they should branch out and give the reins over to another company that has the engine to, I guess, in this day and age, do it justice. And that would be give Darkstalkers to Skullgirls and let them make a Darkstalker.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. No, but that's a good one. Menitta.
I feel the goofiness could only be done by them, just looking at Skullgirls characters and how they morph and all the things they do. Everybody always says, like, oh, Arc System Works and stuff. I'm just like, but they don't go as wacky.
Yeah, it'd be too slick.
And when you have as wacky moves as you did in the Darkstalker series, Ono tried his best. He even had that trailer. Darkstalkers is not dead, but he lied.
Yeah.
But no, give us, now that Skullgirls is in a better place, let's give them a huge boost and give them the license.
Oh, yeah. Menitta?
So I actually think a new Rival Schools / Project Justice would be really, really cool. Especially like leading into that like kind of 90s anime style. That would be really slick. And same with what you were saying about Power Stone and Itsuno. He wanted to. I remember back in like the mid 2010s, he was mentioning like, I would love to do a new Rival Schools, but like that was just not in the cards then or now. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, Rival Schools is definitely my answer.
Yep.
Battle University.
Yeah. Barry?
I too have the opinion to bring back Rival Schools. I never had the chance to play it, but I really love the art style of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And since they've been hinting at it for the past year and a half, maybe Capcom versus SNK 3? Like the collab is just, and City of the Wolves Ken's story is like, oh man, it'd be so great if your protege and my protege can go up together and fight. And Terry's like, oh yeah, that'd be so sick. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Looking at the camera, wink. Like,
Yeah.
are you guys gonna do that, or are we just
One
gonna
thing-
keep having pointless not pointless, but just a random collab every 3 months,
Right.
With,
which is funny.
I know with
Yeah,
everything
that'd be
like that's going down with SNK right now aside, what's nice about between Capcom and SNK is that they've finally been talking again, because like a lot of the folks that worked at Capcom and SNK that knew each other, they just left, and like but eventually, like, you know, I don't know what other word to put it, the cross pollination has occurred again. So now that they actually know each other again, and we can get Terry in Street Fighter, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I just wish that the circumstances were better, but this is how things are. But yeah. Christy?
Yeah, we did all answer Capcom games.
We did.
I'm gonna combo breaker this. Give me Soul Cal 7.
Yes.
We need a new Soul Cal. Like, I do not like Virtual Fighter, whatever. That's nice and all. I need Soul Cal. Tekken's fine. If I want a 30 fighting game, give me a new Soul Cal. Get rid of the stupid like fucking supers and all that stuff. Just bring it back to what Soul Cal 1 and 2 were.
Yeah.
Like,
I misunderstood the question. I thought they were asking what Capcom game you like, Brad.
Oh.
I like change my answer. Persona 5 Arena. You gotta bring it, Arxis, please.
All right.
Like, they made so many Persona 5 spin-offs, and it's gonna turn 10 years old in September. It's time.
I got one more. Sega, I know you're bringing Virtual Fighter back. Give me a new Fighting Vipers. Like fighting
Vipers.
Like I feel like Fighting Vipers is to Sega what Rival Schools is to Capcom. And in the game Project Cross Zone, like, you have the main character Bon from Fighting Vipers, and you have the main character from Rival Schools, Batsu, both in the game, and their storyline before like things like the whole world turned upside down in that game is that like the two were gonna meet to challenge each other to a fight, which like that's a fight I wanted to see, and then and then they had to team up because shit was going down, but because that has like Namco, Sega, and Capcom characters, but as I think it was Wooly who coined this term about those games, characters you want in a game you don't.
Yeah.
man, I like that first Project Zone. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They need to bring that back, actually.
They should, but I want them to also have a mode where it's basically a fighting game mode. You get to choose the characters and then team up or like against other people. I'd be down for that. And add more companies, add Konami to the mix because I want some Castlevania characters in there. And hell, put Contra characters like fucking Bill and Lance from Contra. I'll be down. Bomberman, Snake, the fucking Vic Viper from Gradius, the ship. Like,
Oh.
I would see. I like. Okay. Let me go to the next question real quick. Yeah, Sparkster as well. I agree with that one. Mr. Ben asks, what, in your opinion, is the best version of Super Smash Bros. And why is it Melee? It's not Melee. It's Ultimate.
Not
It's
Melee.
Ultimate.
It's not Melee.
It's Ultimate. It's Ultimate.
Yeah, no. Melee is the best version if you want to piss on a carpet. Aside from that, no, it's Melee. It's Ultimate.
Wow.
It's Ultimate.
Melee may be the most overrated fighting game of all time.
To give Melee credit though, like as far as being a technical game goes, like that game is really, really cool. Unfortunately though, for me personally, I really don't think like I feel like it goes, but obviously unintentionally, it goes too far in the unintentional tech side.
Yeah.
And like to
Right.
that end, I'm not a huge fan.
No.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement that's Ultimate.
Yeah.
No,
Ultimate is just the
I'm
most-
gonna be a contrarian here and say Smash 64. It
Okay.
was so simple.
I respect
easy.
I respect that. All right. So that was a quick answer to that one. Dari asks, if you could have your own crossover for any company in a fighting game, who would you choose? You know what? Just give me Marvel versus DC already, please. Just give me Marvel versus DC.
Who would make it though?
Who would
Because there's a right answer and a wrong answer.
That's a tough question.
And there's no way we would have two companies doing it. Like Capcom would do one, and then like NetherRealm will do it. Because when Capcom tried to do the two companies thing with Namco, only one of those games came out. The other didn't. Like the Tekken Cross Street Fighter from Namco never happened. All we got was Akuma in Tekken 7. So Namco x Capcom, like the Tekken X Street Fighter, the Namco one, that's good. That's going to be up there as one of the biggest gaming what ifs.
Man, Dudley in Tekken would have been so cool.
It would have been. But yeah, I'll say it right now. I think Capcom would be a better fit than Nether, like, because the NetherRealm one would just be like Injustice if it had a tag team mode and Marvel characters versus DC characters, but Capcom would just be Marvel versus Capcom. Like I would do, like, for example, Captain America versus Superman, Spider-Man versus Batman, and all that. Storm, Wonder Woman. I already have, like, I'll probably, like, if I wouldn't mind actually doing a video essay on like my own take on Marvel versus DC crossover fighting game and the matchups. I'll save it for that, but that's one. Like, I originally thought about Nintendo versus Capcom. That was something I wanted as a kid. It's going to be hard to make that happen now, but even back then, like, because I had that thought since the N64, what made me thought about that was the first Smash Brothers. And we're like, okay, what if they fought against Capcom? But then again, we kind of have that with Mega Man. We have that with Street Fighter. Why hard now? Because it's just the fact that I don't think Sakurai would want to do it. I don't think Sakurai would want to do a crossover. Like, Ono wanted to do it years ago, but Sakurai didn't really want to do it. And I still don't think he wants to do it.
Let the man rest.
Yeah. Let him take a break, please.
He got the chance to make the greatest video game ever made with Kirby Air Riders, so that's okay.
Yeah. All right, Steve, what about you? What's your dream crossover?
So, thankfully, a lot of them out there are being made by, by people using the Mugen engine to amazing capabilities, especially with seeing like Sega versus Capcom coming along, and it's looking really good. But I think I'll give Shellshock a thrill and say the easiest one they could do, and it would not be hard now, is do you remember a game called Poi Poi for PlayStation 1? It was kind of PlayStation's version of Power Stone, but all you do was throw things at each other. I think if you already take that concept and you mix in what worked really well with Power Stone 2, I easily think they could make an amazing arena fighter with all the different cameos from Astrobot. It's very easy because you don't have to get the likeness to any of the characters. You just have to get the costumes. And you could all give them their specific moves, and it would be the PlayStation All-Stars we deserve instead of what we got.
Yep. Menitta?
So, like, this is kind of a tough question because I have to think about, like, when you imagine, like, the idea of Marvel versus Capcom, on paper, would you ever think to want that to begin with? Like, but like you don't know you want it until you see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm kind of like thinking about, like, what would I want to see crossover? This is a weird one. I would love to see. I'm thinking. I in my head I'm like, yeah, Capcom versus Nintendo or something like that, but I want to see some sort of like Splatoon fighting game. But crossing over with what, I'm not sure. That's the thing. But like, I would love to see someone do an actual Splatoon fighting game. Maybe that's what Splatoon Raiders will be.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
But it's kind of hard because, like, in my head I'm like, I don't know. I want a Capcom versus Capcom game.
That's my answer, right? Like I don't care. Like everything's Fortnite. I don't need like, Magic the Gathering versus Superman or whatever.
Yeah.
Give me like Street Fighter versus like Resident Evil or Devil May Cry, like some weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, God Hand. Remember God Hand, yo? Like,
Yeah, I remember God Hand.
Yeah, it's like like Capcom versus Capcom is what I don't need like two licensed companies. Just give me like a pure Capcom game that plays weird.
Yeah. Barry, do you have your answer for this?
Oh, so you guys remember Dengeki Bunko?
Yes, actually, I have that
I've heard of it.
game.
For the fighting game where you have like different light novel characters.
Well, you get Kirito in it.
Yeah, like what if we have a fighting game where different anime characters, not like the shonen game that was on PS3. I forgot the name. The Shonen Jump game.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, Jump All Stars, Jump Victor versus.
yeah. So let's have like anime studios crossing over. So like, I think Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon are by Toei Animation, if I remember correctly. So like Toei Animation versus like Studio Bones, and you got My Hero, Mob 100, One Punch Man. Just throwing that out there, like an anime crossover, but with different anime studios. I think that'd be pretty interesting to say.
Yep. And since you already answered that question, Christy, we're going to do the final question before we sign off. This one is from Mecha Dragon 101. Do you consider Smash Bros. A fighting game or more of a party game? It's both, but it's a fighting game. It's a fighting game in a not in the traditional sense, but it's a fighting game that works in its own fundamentals. That's the only thing I can really say about that. Steve?
Yeah.
It's a fighting game unless you pick Great Battle Offensive as your stage.
Menitta?
Great game. Oh. I like to point back to an old Fighterpedia video that asks this exact question.
That takes me back.
Fighting gaminess, and Smash Brothers has it. That's a fighting game, yeah.
Yeah. Barry?
Yes, it is a fighting game. You fight other characters, and you either get them off the screen, like Ring Out. So it's a 3D fighter, if you really want to think about it, technically.
Yep. Christy?
Yeah, like it kind of invented the platform fighter, right? Or at least popularized it. It's a fighting game. It's just not, it's not a fighting game the same way Street Fighter or MK is. But it's a fighting game.
Yep. All right. And with that is going to do it for sharing with Shellshock for this week. Again, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I know we had like a very weird start with the background music and all that, which I really thought that people were trolling me, but no, it was actually a legit problem.
The Ghost of Alpha 2.
The Ghost of Alpha 2. It's definitely going to be fixed from here on out, like after this episode. But yeah, before we sign off, Steve, where can we find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky lurking about, reposting here and there as Swantendo. Other than that, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts for Zen's Path. We just passed 200 episodes and we're still going strong.
Nice. What about you, Menitta?
Same deal, Blue Sky. You can also find me on Twitch as well, all under Menitta. So, yeah.
All right.
I don't use Twitch all that much, but I'm really wanting to use it more. I like streaming. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Barry?
You can find me at BerryDelight on Blue Sky, as well as BerryDelight __ on Twitch. Today was our season finale of Scrub Down Sunday, but we will be back in April for season 3.
Nice. And Christy?
You can follow me on Blue Sky at TheAnarChristie. Also, hey, the Wives Anarchy, we stream on Sundays, Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Also, hey, if you're in the New York City area, stream NYC, we're back April 25th. Probably at the same place we've had it before. It's not 100% certain, but like, I'd be weird if it wouldn't be. Just check out meetup.twitch.tv. But yeah, I'll be co-hosting / co-orging that. And if you want to yell at me about fighting games, I will correct you there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can also find me pretty much on like Blue Sky, Discord, and then also like I stream on Twitch Monday through Fridays with some Sunday streams, 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern until like midnight. So next week's episode is going to be about conventions. And joining me for that one will be Mantle Ferox, Tian Angelic, Corshal Valent, and Kevin the Time Geek. That's going to be a good one. I know you were originally planning for that one, Menitta, but you're going to be busy next week, so...
Yeah.
But...
Can't talk about MagFest all that much, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also, Shellshock will both be at PAX East in 2 weeks.
We will both be at PAX East in 2 weeks. Yes, we will definitely see each other then.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Once again, Steve, Menitta, Barry, Christy, thank you all so much for being a part of this podcast. I would love to have you all again in the future.
Oh, they'll come back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, ton of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. And until next time, everybody, I'll be signing off. But until then, make sure to take care of yourselves. Be awesome. Stay awesome. Tell your loved ones you love them. Check out them as always. Fight for everlasting peace. And I'll see you guys next time. And remember, be kind, rewind. Y'all take care and have a great night.
Friends,
Yay! Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
again.
I have to jet. I'll have to go to the bathroom for last time.
Shh.